Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I laughed because Leigh-Ann just found a bank card that she thought she'd lost in her tits.
Yep.
There's a lot of room there.
Fits in quite nicely.
Well done.
But
well, you know, something.
we don't find cash anymore.
No.
You know, I used to find cash in the tumble sector.
No, you don't. No,
but we don't
now
have
it's
cash.
so. No, it's so. You're not going to find it, and people also, when they find it, they're like, if you haven't noticed, because it's and as a hot lesbian, and the rest of the show we'll talk about that. We'll get to it in a moment or two, but we go.
Yes.
That we were going to dress up as lesbians for lesbians.
Very good.
Found this.
No, I with lesbians every day.
Yes. Not all lesbians dress the same.
Lesbian I met probably about 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And yeah, just after my own heart.
Oh. And 90s are the ones that I found inspiring. Those ones were in the back of my mind. Anyway, I went to 2 conferences this week, which is clearly what overpaid C-suite people during their week, because there are tons of people at both. Thing that Ernst Roots of Pretoria. Lots of people there that I hadn't ever met before visiting. There were some Italians. Just a panel with friends of the show. Mark obviously is plenty of hate speech cases.
Is he of the Oppenheimer family?
No, I mean, the advocate with the long hair and the glass TV. Anyway, show very interesting, the people that I saw. And then on yesterday, I went to something called the Pulse Media Conference thing, which was also fascinating. Murray Legg,
oh yes,
Michael Jordan was there, and Seth Godin. From LA, I think he was in LA, and some really interesting insights. Stuff. All in all, fascinating week. While sitting in conferences,
and also
it's just something else.
But then it's all about now applying it, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to your strategy? Your strategy and how great.
Have you sorted it? Oh God! Thanks for letting us know in the comments. Everybody's like, "What?" Sorry, Leigh-Ann, I interrupted.
Hear us at all?
Okay, so Audrey says we've got to play the lesbian song. Got that. It was right on the top of the priority list. It's coming right up. It's coming. Yeah, but I mean, interesting that there are still conferences where you can learn interesting things from people who you thought you'd heard lots from, but these days everything's online. So I was listening to a really interesting podcast, and when I got there, I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to listen to some more podcasts." That's what it felt like, and that's not an insult to the speakers at all. I think that here interesting, momentary insights.
Yeah,
right. Not a bad thing. I'm just glad that we can. Well done to Ken Varegis and his team for getting Seth Godin, because obviously he's a huge name.
yeah.
And even though he was online, it just hearing.
Was it just a segment, or
No, it was one of the segments in the talk. But probably a lot. But
Yeah.
the guy's art and interesting takeouts. Like he's been able, obviously, with books, in conferences. Brain is just firing, and it's not going over the old new things that he threw in there. That was my week. Leaving your bank cards in your
My
tits.
tits.
Yeah. A lot of room.
it changed? It used to be 5 rand coins that I'd find, or cigarette lighters.
How exciting, like a lucky packet you didn't ask for. I lost my sunglasses. Now, we've talked about this before. And it's not because they're expensive or fancy sunglasses. Loss more than a small one, like a pair of sunglasses, is something that. And if you won 10,000 rand,
Yeah.
or you found 50 rand in your
It affects you for longer as well. You
Yeah.
harp on about it
and
and
it's
you
so
think about
stupid.
it.
I mean, like I can buy new sunglasses, but that's lost them at one of these conferences.
Lost your sunglasses. My mind went straight away to I was pre-20 and a bathroom
Yeah.
and I thought back to then. Not once did I think about my
How stupid that you allow afterwards. Creatures, we really are. Anyone see the disgusting display of racism from the EFF and MK yesterday towards Athol Trollop in Parliament? Juju's going to get himself unalive. Great. Yesterday was the budget speech. Why anyone would watch. And Wednesday was the budget speech. And there were plenty of insights from that, which I think, people more qualified than me. If you're coming to this show for insights into the budget speech, you got the wrong show. I don't know how to break this to you. I mean, unless Leigh-Ann is going to pull out a whole bunch of things that we didn't know. I know that the threshold for VAT's gone up. Capital gains tax, it's now, I think there's a window of 50,000 that you don't have to pay capital gains tax on instead of 40,000. It's small differences there. They didn't increase taxes. They didn't play with too much of the revenue side of things. They did say that you can make bigger contributions to tax-free savings, retirement, all that kind of thing, which is excellent, because one of the big problems we have in this country is we don't save money, and then people end up having nothing when they're older. And that's dangerous. It's obviously very, very dangerous.
But I mean, let's admit that it's impossible to save right now, right?
Yeah, I don't think a whole lot of people are sitting there going, well, I don't want to save, I'll spend that. They don't have the money.
We're paying off debt.
Well, they also don't have the money. And you mentioned debt. Enoch Godongwana and his team at Treasury, the GNU wants to take credit for this, but give them credit. They have arrested our slide into deficit. And in fact, they're trying to get the deficit back under control. They've got a plan for, I think, the next 8 years to reduce the deficit. It's in the 70s now, 70% of GDP. Just over that. In fact, I think it's closer to 78. But
are these things that our government understands? Deficit,
yeah.
8-year plan,
listen,
percentage decline.
So the most, I suppose it's a source of some confidence and some peace of mind, is that there are very capable people in Treasury. I mean, it's the one department you can't have fluff. You can't have people who aren't well-versed in basic economics. And I'm not saying that they're all brilliant, but there've got to be some people there who really know what they're talking about. And by and large, I mean, you have to give it a pass mark at least, the budget speech. Other aspects of our government may function like a porta potty, but Treasury largely has kept its act together. I disagree with the way SARS behaves, and I don't like the fact that they're proud that they took in more tax than they thought they would, because that just shows me how compliant South Africans are. And it does mean that we're probably overtaxed. It would be really nice if they gave some of that back to people, because you talk about what got us onto this discussion is how we can't save and how people don't make enough to be able to hide it in their bras or wherever else. It would be nice if we got some of that money back. But well done to the minister, and I don't have any beef with him. I mean, I don't think anybody in the country does. We would prefer things to go X, Y, or Z way, and sometimes you get what you want and sometimes you don't. I know Edward Kieswetter of SARS is going to be leaving soon. I think his term comes to an end. So as soon as he's out, I want to get him on this show and ask him how it actually works. Who are they targeting? Because you would have heard in this week, again, this is not the show you come to for this stuff, but fuck it, we're talking about it now, so I may as well give you what I know. You would have seen the reports from SARS come out this week. SARS very proud of themselves about how much tax they've managed to accumulate. 60% of this country's taxes are paid by just over 1% of the population. 60% of the taxes, I'm going to say that again because it really does require a little bit of thought. 1%, round about 1%, could be a little more or less, I can't remember exact numbers. 1% of South Africa's population of 60, 70 million pay 60% of the tax.
Yeah. And to who? Because we don't really know where our money goes, right?
Well, I mean, you can figure it out by seeing what the budget is. That was the purpose of Wednesday's speech, and a lot of it goes to education, a lot of it goes to health, a lot of it goes to G-wagons for not ministers' families. Yes, sure. There's huge grift, corruption, theft. It's appalling, but the important thing to focus on here is that when South Africans complain, and if you get a lot of people from the EFF and the modern left saying, tax the rich. Well, the rich are being taxed and they are paying the majority of the bills. Now, if they're going to babysit the rest of the country, and I don't think, I mean, you may imagine that you're not in that 1%, right? Maybe you're just short of it, because the next category of people pay basically the rest of it. So anyone who is maybe making somewhere between 800,000 to 1.7, 1.8 million a year, it's a lot of money. Those people are paying the rest of the money that funds the country. Those people are the mommy and daddies of South African society, and the rest are the infants who can only take from the system. So if you're going to complain about them and you're going to say tax the rich and eat the rich and all this stuff that's become popular for left-wing idiots all over the world to say, then you shouldn't be taking their money because you're a hypocrite. You want their money and you want to complain about them? No, you get to do one. You get to do one. You either give them a free pass on being rich and being able to hold on to whatever small percentage of their money they get to keep after they've worked and created jobs and started businesses and risked everything. Because that's what it is to start a business. You risk everything. If it was so easy, why doesn't everybody do it? So those are the people who took a gamble on a business idea, probably have been paddling like a duck. The legs are going crazy under the water, but they're pretending to be calm on the surface. They've had to, in the most difficult environment imaginable, because South Africa is not a great business environment. It just isn't. You have to comply with thousands of rules. There's BEE, there's tax, there is labor policy, which is extraordinarily complicated. These people have made it. They've managed to forge their way to the front in business. And then they get taxed. And they don't just get taxed for their income. Their company gets taxed. They get taxed on capital gains. There are various other taxes that apply. They probably are paying all the staff taxes as PAYE straight to SARS, so they're complying and being responsible in that respect, if you call it responsible. So you can't criticize them anymore. It is just so ungrateful if people, you just have no manners. If people are paying for 60% of the shit that we use in this country, whether it's roads, bad as they are, electricity, which seems to have sorted itself out largely because the ANC eventually became so embarrassed they couldn't hide it anymore. Water, which we're very worried about still, and in parts of Joburg you don't have. But all of the things that we do, including those 26 to 30 million, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, people who are on social welfare, social grants, those people are being paid for by that 1%. So you hate them, then you try and do better or shut up. I don't think that's unfair, right?
No.
Either you get to criticize them or you get to take their money. If you take their money, you can't criticize them. Full stop. They're paying for everything. They're keeping the lights on. Right. Got that out of my system. You see, we start down an economics road and I don't want to stop. Anyway, lots of fascinating statistics that came out this week. I can't even remember them all. Common Sense says, Gareth, you're going to cut some timber today at Sabi. It's Lesbian Friday. I cleared this up at the beginning of the show. We'll talk about it later. And we'll play you the Lesbian song. If you don't pay tax, you don't get to vote. Well, that's the other argument, right? Is if these 1% of people...
That was your one rule for, you need to qualify to vote.
Yeah, I think if there's a way to measure how much someone's vote should count, it is how much they're taxed.
Yeah.
Because they are directly contributing. If you go to the shop and you have 50 Rand and I have 100 Rand, I can buy a more expensive thing than you. So if I'm paying tax to the tune of, 1 million Rand a year, and you're paying 5,000 Rand a year in tax, my vote should be that much bigger than yours proportionally. That's all. I don't think that's unreasonable. Crap. Talk about kids. Need to wake them for school. Ta-ta. That's Nico. Very busy with his stuff at home and filling us in. Thanks, Nico.
Thanks, Nico. You stopped your busy morning.
Yeah, the thing we were worried about this morning was whether or not you'd remember to wake the kids and get there on time. So we're thrilled. I lost all my Bitcoin in a Zama Zama mining accident. Please find it for me, SARS. Well done, Bitcoin bot. Although your Bitcoin's worth a lot less now than it was when you and I spoke about this last year, right? Gareth, have you watched The Bride of Charlie? No, I haven't. This is the new Candace Owens documentary on Erica Kirk.
Oh, right.
I mean, trust the U.S. conservatives to pull victory from the jaws of defeat and defeat from the jaws of victory. The American right cannot keep itself sane and together enough. Just like I always criticize the left, the right come in for their fair amount of this. You got Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens.
She's the the black woman who criticizes everyone.
And
gets her facts
well,
wrong.
she's gone completely off the reserve.
Yeah.
In my opinion, some people will disagree. I got to watch it. To be honest, I'm not sure I want to. I don't really have much of a feeling about Erica Kirk. I hadn't even known she existed until Charlie was killed, and I only knew.
I just see her as like an actress. She's fulfilling an acting role.
Well, that's what most people in politics are doing.
Yeah.
So, whoop-de-doo. The only thing I don't really like here is that regardless of whatever Candace's theories are, and she's got some pretty bizarre theories, this is a woman who lost her husband last year. Not even a fresh wound, right?
Yeah.
The kids are young. She's been asked to take over at Turning Point USA, which is probably one of the most powerful political organizations in the country now, especially for young people. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And I'm pretty sure that regardless of whatever Candace Owens says, a wife and mother is likely to be distraught and traumatized by an occasion such as the one that happened to her husband than they are to be thrilled with any of the things that have happened, whether it's attention or publicity or position and authority in TP USA afterwards. I mean, that just seems logical to me. I can't imagine that someone would be so pleased with all of those things I've just mentioned that they would somehow, that would assuage their pain over losing their husband. It's a real thing. And to have him assassinated live on TV, and, that's not anyone's dream for themselves. So interesting points in the comment section this morning. They're really on fire. I saw, who was it that was up first this morning and wanted a medal? Max Sony, a gold medal for being the first in the comment section. All right, so a couple of other things that are worthy of discussion. We've got to talk about Stephen Hawking. I know that he was a tremendous physicist. I have tried time and time again to read his books about how the universe works, what black holes are, how nebulae and galaxies that have spiral arms and the plane of the universe and the acceleration of the universe. I've tried. I really have. In fact, one of his books is on my bedside table, and it's only that thin. And I've probably tried it. I've had a proper go 4 or 5 times.
That's a lot of trying.
I know, and I haven't given up yet. But honestly, like my head actually gets sore after a while.
No.
And he's trying to dumb it down for the likes of me.
Yeah.
So, great guy, huge contribution to the world, and more important than anything else that happened since. But it seems that when you say Stephen Hawking now, and possibly, sadly, his legacy is going to be, there were lots of communications with him in the Epstein files. He may or may not have gone to the island. He may or may not have partaken in Russian hookers and God knows what else. And there was this photograph that was released this week. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, Jesus. James, have you got the picture? Oh, look there.
Oh, gosh. So he's sandwiched between 2 ladies in black bikinis.
Yeah. Explain it to people who might just be listening to the audio.
They're holding his drink, which looks like a
looks like a mojito. No,
a Bloody Mary or something.
Well,
or
yeah.
Cosmo something.
Cosmopolitan, probably. And they've got mojitos.
And they've propped him up on like a lounger.
I mean, it's just...
Looks like Weekend at Bernie's, actually.
So the family of Stephen Hawking have now clarified that the women in the picture, in the black bikinis, were his long-term carers. They were not associates of Epstein. It was not on the island. The photo was released in the Epstein files, but the image, according to them, was taken in 2006 during a science conference in the Virgin Islands hosted by Epstein. So,
so not on Epstein Island.
small difference, but it's important. So, yeah. Although Hawking is mentioned hundreds of times in the files, his family stressed he was never accused of wrongdoing and called any insinuations against him wrong and far-fetched. Epstein Island, the Virgin Islands in the Caribbean, the hop, a leap, and a jump. That's not far-fetched. Picture, girls, bikinis, science conference.
With girls in bikinis and drinks.
As opposed to, I mean, really, that's not far-fetched. I just think this is such a sad situation, not because I'm particularly concerned about the moral rectitude of Stephen Hawking. I think before people knew any of this Epstein stuff, and remember, Jeffrey he funded plenty of research, good and bad, at universities all over the world. He was very involved with academics, the smartest people in the field. Obviously, connecting them to the rest of his network was an important part of that. But he was by no means an ignoramus when it came to this stuff. He was interested in the content of what these academics were busy with, the research they were doing, the most important discoveries that were being made in every field. He positioned himself in contact with and at the forefront of all of these different things, which is what a smart person would do. It's probably one of the reasons that he was able to bring politicians, celebrities, and so on into his orbit, is because these people added a seriousness to his college of friends, right? And Stephen Hawking before this was known for physics and for being in a wheelchair and talking like this.
Yeah.
But now, I think a lot of Gen Zs will only ever know that picture.
Yeah.
They'll only ever know that Stephen Hawking was this guy who looked like Weekend at Bernie's, with these two chicks in bikinis and drinks in their hands. And that to me is a very poor reflection of his total contribution. It's the same way as Ben said last week before, Michael Jackson didn't fuck no kids. And the thing we know about Michael Jackson now, I mean, obviously for music fans it's different. I was a huge Michael Jackson music fan. His songs, I know almost every one.
I remembered the other day that I've seen him live in concert.
Yeah.
And
when he did his history tour in South Africa.
And how you don't realize at that point how important a milestone or a landmark that is.
Yes, but again, because of, Geordie Chandler was the kid's name, and the accusations against Michael, whether true or not, for many people, that is all they know about him. You think about Bill Cosby. Now, he's nobody's favorite comedian, but he was a heavy hitter in his time.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Cosby was probably, along with, he's not on the level of Eddie Murphy by any means, or of Richard Pryor, but he was of that generation. And those three black comedians, with others as well, but those three black comedians had tremendous crossover appeal at a time where white people watched white people, black people watched black people. Now Bill Cosby is only known for, I put the pill in the drink kind of thing. And it's unfortunate, right? Like that's how we consign people to the rubbish heap of history. Like we're more upset about a pair of sunglasses we lost when we were 19 than we are about all the things that have happened to us that are great since. It's just weird. I just find it bizarre. It's going to take a long time for me to get over this.
Yeah.
That people, including me, we choose to remember a lot of unnecessary shit that doesn't actually affect us on a day-to-day. Michael Jackson's music affects me way more than someone who he may or may not have abused in the 80s that I'll never meet, that has no impact on my life. And yet, we're all upset about the Epstein files, and we're not reading Stephen Hawking. Just seems odd to me. I just think that's weird. All right, so a couple other things. By the way, later on in the show, guests galore today. Ben is going to join us just in a short while. Hanan is on just now with a little bit of the... So that's going to happen. We're going to check out the death pool. We've got a friend of mine, Zanya Penzorn, coming in. She's going to talk to us about a thing she's doing with plants and mental health. And it is a terrific project that I think will help a lot of young people. You know, people, they always say to you when you move into an apartment, before you get a pet or you get married or you have a kid, try with a plant. Because you can't keep that alive, then the rest is probably not going to go so well.
Yeah.
And not only that, but even if you don't have a mental health issue or you haven't moved into your first apartment, I see so many people who derive huge pleasure from their gardens, from the window boxes or the plants in their house, because it gives them a place to nurture, care, and it's a cathartic thing for so many people. It's a big thing
now. I mean, when we were growing up in the 80s, we didn't care much for plants. We'd ride over them with our bicycles.
Yeah, and
stomp over them while we were walking the streets. But now I'm just fascinated by how much knowledge young people have of plants.
Yes.
Yes. And knowing things about whether this certain plant can propagate from this leaf or...
Well, my sister, for example, she never took any interest. You know, when she was at high school, my mother would say, come and see, I'll show you the difference between a weed and a flower. She was like, please, man, I don't care about that. Now she is propagating like this flower from this cutting that she's got somewhere, and she loves it. And you can also see this with old people. They take such pleasure in, their rose garden or whatever it is that
the things that we're supposed to be obsessed with and preoccupied with, really.
Yeah. Well, I think it's... Look, I'm paraphrasing a lot of what she's doing into just my personal connection to it. But she'll tell us all about that. And then Matt C. Smith, who was actually in the Olympics. So he is a Johannesburg-born cross-country skier. He lives in Norway now. And he was at the Olympics in Cortina in Italy just last week. In fact, you could have seen him on TV. We spoke about him on the show. And he's going to join us for a little while. We're going to find out what that was all about.
Fascinating how someone born in Joburg
does cross-country skiing.
Yeah, because you're usually born into that lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's something that you do. It's what your family does, your friends, holidays. Yeah.
So he's going to be an interesting guest for us to talk to later on. And plenty more. So stick around for all of that because it is jam-packed today. What's on your agenda? You want to talk about Mexico, apparently. Mexico is a shit show, by the way.
In general or now?
I've got friends in America, and they, I've been to Mexico just as a tourist. Cancun, Tulum, Chichen Itza, that sort of area, which is very touristy.
Yes.
So it's on the Gulf of Mexico. The other place that most Americans go, the other places they go, Mexico City, the capital, which is just this huge, sprawling metropolis. It's one of the biggest cities in the world, and it just seems to go on and on and on. And it's authentically Mexican, as you'd expect, as the capital city of Mexico. And then you get places on the west coast like Cabo and Jalisco, which is where the tequila's made.
Yes.
So I know a little bit about Mexico. These friends of mine in America who go there on holiday said to me they will not go on holiday right now to Mexico because it is completely overrun with gangs, warlords, drug cartels. It's basically unsafe. The U.S. State Department has issued, I think it's a level 4 travel advisory, which is the highest level you get. The only other countries that have a level 4 are Venezuela and Afghanistan and Syria and Iraq. So those are places that the U.S. State Department warns you not to go to. Mexico is now on that list, and Mexico is right there on their border. Yeah. So that's a worry.
I did see a TikTok recently of a girl who, it was the first I'd seen or heard of it, was stuck in a hotel because the cartels had taken over the entire suburb. Mm-hmm. And they just weren't allowed to leave. She's been there for 3 weeks, not allowed to leave. But this was a bunch of Canadians who stayed at this one particular Mexican resort in Cancun and got severely ill. There was reports of like E. coli, so it was food poisoning from food that had been kept poorly. It hadn't been preserved properly. But these people got so ill that it started on the plane, and by the time they landed, people were just really, really ill from both ends and being hospitalized, entire families. And yeah, I enjoyed the one Canadian's perspective in this news story. I don't know if you've got it, James.
No, go for it, James. Let's see.
Several fire trucks and ambulances lined up at Pearson Airport's Terminal 3 Thursday night called for 7 patients sick on a WestJet flight back from Cancun.
You're cramping, throwing up. Your eyeballs feel like they're ripping out of your head. It's the worst feeling. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we've had COVID. This was worse than COVID for us.
Neil Matheson was on a flight back from Cancun the day before. He says he...
Oh, my God.
Just crapping and vomiting and your eyeballs feel like they're going to pop out of your head.
Did you see the thing I shared on Instagram yesterday? Some Australian, I think he's Australian, like losing his shit literally about people who take a dump at the gym.
Oh, no.
He's like, why do you do that? You could shit at home. Why are you shitting at the gym? So there's always got to be something lavatorial.
Like men, I think, have better bowel patterns.
No,
than
really?
women do.
Oh, what, are you just
100%.
shitting all over the place all the time?
Yeah, depending on hormones and all sorts of things. Women don't have these regular...
You know what? Just stop talking, because I like to imagine that women never need to shit. They just don't. They're so pure and wonderful that the shit just dissipates. They never need to do that. I don't want to think about it.
The timing thing is not...
I don't want to think about it. Okay, so if you go to Mexico as a tourist, knowing it's a narco state, then that's on you. Shem. Shit hits the fan, says Bitcoin Butt. I've been in Puerto Vallarta, which is one of the places too, the town where the cuck hit the fan. It's a cuckhole. Yeah, please can Hollywood make a Samuel L. Jackson movie for this? People shitting on a plane.
Oh, yes.
Now, that would be funny. Where do I get a Hawaiian baby wood rose for my garden? I'm asking for a friend, says Slippery Pickle.
I don't know what that is.
No, I mean, we were talking in hallowed ways about people who are horticulturalists and botanists.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Leigh-Ann and I are.
No, zero knowledge.
Zero. I'm an expert at growing weed, says Bitcoin Put. Okay, lovely. Christian says, my wife loves her succulents. I've been all over California buying plants, probably spent about 160,000 Rand on plants. See, this is what I mean. People take this very seriously. The idea of Stephen Hawking on Epstein Island is like a dial-up modem at a rave, says Marcel.
I have to talk about James. You were so silent about, you showed me my set of keys, my car keys.
Oh, what is this about?
Something's happened.
What?
What happened? So how did you get them?
Leigh-Ann left her keys in the Uber.
This morning. But that's amazing that he just took it upon himself to bring them back.
Yeah, he was cleaning his car outside as well for some reason.
Oh, shame. That's really nice.
Wow, okay, because James ran out of here like he needed to go.
He asked me, are these your keys? So I thought I'd left them in the office next door, but no.
Okay.
Very good of Uber. Thank you.
How stupid of you to leave your keys in the Uber.
Really stupid.
That is also such a pain to try and get something back. Obviously, it's a complicated system, right? It's through a third party because you have to go through the Uber app.
But it's also a men and women thing. I mean, what do you have on your key ring compared to what women have? Men usually just have a car key.
I've got the car key. I've got a little tag to get in here.
Mm.
The ring that they're both on. I think that's it.
See, women have a lot of keys, always. It's not necessary.
What are you, the First National Bank? Fuck is going on there? What do you need all
I
that
don't even
for?
know what half of these are for. I literally use 2.
Okay, so I know everybody's sick of me talking about this stuff, but you know my favorite thing is to tidy up and become efficient, right? So
Yeah.
I've reorganized my study, and I've put all the cables neatly. I've got these sticky kind of like cable tie things that tie all the cables and things.
Oh, like Velcro.
And I've been throwing away all kinds of unnecessary clutter and shit that has been accumulating since I built that house, which is what, 12, 13 years ago? Maybe even
Very
more.
good of you.
Oh man, Leigh-Ann, I threw away just the other night. I was busy doing the filing, and you go through, everybody accumulates all these files, and organized people keep them in files, disorganized people keep them in piles. But I'm not judging, because in the files that I thought I was organized with, there was stuff that has no relevance anymore, shit that you now have digital versions of.
But it's not
You
easy
don't-
to dispose of this stuff. So
Oh, please.
What do
You
do
shred
with-
it.
No, but what do you do with things like batteries and cords and old
Oh,
phones?
I just throw those away.
But what, in the bin?
In the bin. Have
But
you
you're not
seen?
supposed to.
Nah, they're these scavengers on all of our rubbish dumps. There's one near Marlborough Drive here, where if you can go and watch, it's like a tourist destination, if you ask me. You got these people and a whole lot of like crows and
People and crows.
I kid you not, and they are digging through other people's trash for hard drives
But
and
like, doesn't shit
and-
explode? Can a dustbin, a bin truck not explode if you've got your old laptop in there?
you don't throw your laptop in, but batteries and old phones, I think people throw those away all the time. There are some phones you can do nothing with anymore. They
No,
just don't work.
completely. I mean,
have you ever left?
I've got so many Apple device boxes.
Yes, throw them away. You don't need those. You're not going to.
And
No one is going
cords
to. No
and-
one's going to offer you 10 million rand for your Apple iPhone 5 in its original packaging. No
and
one.
then quite difficult things like, like GPS watches and fitness trackers and all of that type of thing. that
Some
are
of it's worth money.
completely
I mean, like
obsolete.
you can probably get a couple of $100 for some of that stuff, as long as it still works. But the gold in your circuits is actually worth quite a lot of money. There are people who buy those things just to destroy the plastic, melt down the metal, separate the gold. You can get quite a lot out of that, apparently. I mean, I wouldn't try it. It's too complicated a process. But there are people who are interested in that stuff. They buy old computers
Yeah.
and they just harvest the stuff that they could from them.
And then I've got, I threw away a bathroom scale.
Yeah? But you just gave up, huh?
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
I
fuck
didn't-
you, bathroom
Yeah, I
scale.
didn't throw it away without putting a zap sign at it first.
That thing had brought you so much pain over the years.
That just wouldn't work no matter how many batteries I put into it. And it felt so weird dropping this. It's one of those glass ones. Dropping that into the bin. It feels strange.
Yeah, I know. I found among all these things that I was throwing out, I found old cell phones, like Nokia cell phones,
Yeah.
things that I way overpaid for back in the day because I wanted the certain phone, right?
Yeah.
Now, and I noticed that the batteries had all expanded dangerously and were probably explosive. I should have taken those out, but like an idiot, I didn't. And I mean, there's no way I could start up those phones now if I tried.
Yeah.
They don't work. There's no way. So what do I do with them? You can sell them to old secondhand electronics stores and things, and they might want them. But man, we collect and accumulate so much shit in our lives.
I've got so many weird things. I've got
Unbelievable.
like bird cages and my wedding dress and just things that I literally don't know what to do with. So I know what to do with them. Let me not lie. For instance, the bird cage, apparently there's a shop in Edenvale. But am I really going to, on a Saturday morning, drive all the way to Edenvale with the bird cage to hand it over? I know that there are
it depends.
foundations who would take my
Sure.
wedding dress.
Yeah. There are
donate.
there are charities that'll take all
It's
of
the
your
hassle.
shit. Well, you can get these guys, these charities to come around. They'll pick up a whole bucky load of your stuff, and they'll go through it and decide what's valuable and what isn't. I do think that maybe we all overvalue our junk,
Yeah.
but there are definitely places that they will have some value. There are definitely things that junk can do in the world, so not worth throwing away everything, but maybe there's a charity that can take up some of it. Leigh-Ann is quite right. My BIL, what is a BIL? Works for a waste removal company in the UK. One of the trucks caught fire because
Brother-in-law.
Oh, okay, got you. Thank you. At least you speak brother-in-law, or rather acronyms. One of their trucks caught fire because someone threw away a battery.
Yes, it happens.
Okay. I have half battery life on my old 3310. I just turned it on now to check.
I'm glad that was an inspiration.
That's amazing, slippery pickle. That's great. Okay, we got Hanan? Okay, you'll let me know when he's ready. Okay, again, we can't hear James, says the 81 itch 455. Great name, by the way. I think I'm going to keep it for my eldest. Someone else here says, as long as you sell the old devices with their chargers, they do have value. Okay, probably fair. By the way, an old iPad, the original iPad, I think I've got like a version 1 or version 2 or whatever. I found a video, because I was going to throw that away.
Yeah.
Or at least, give it to a charity or something, because I wasn't going to just throw it in the trash. Apparently, and according to the internet, so I searched, what can I do with an old iPad? There are people with ideas like, you can't believe, photo frames.
Oh no, what's that 5-minute crafts?
Yeah,
People making shoes out of
So this
iPads.
one guy, I went down this rabbit hole. This one guy turned an old iPad 1 into a huge digital clock for his wall. And you can turn he built this thing, he 3D printed some kind of crown for it and a case for it.
Where
and
do people find the time?
I think it's amazing. This just shows you how ingenious people can be.
Wow. Well, I suppose we do things with things like old TV cabinets and even old TVs.
Yeah,
Make drinks.
I think there are
cabinets
two.
out
Look,
of.
there are two categories of junk stuff that you're prepared to throw away. I would put tech in one category because there's always going to be some market value for that. I mean, who wants someone's old fucking TV cabinet for one of those big TVs that were this wide? And
They do. People do that.
Who wants it?
These thrifters pick these things up from the side of the road and
I often
redo them and varnish them.
I see people driving on the highway, right, with a car or a truck or a bucky that's just like it's scraping at the back. It's loaded full of just absolute shit. Because you could see it's absolute shit from driving past it. You look at the thing and there's nothing valuable there. Old stained mattresses and you're like, where is this going? There is no one on the planet who is excited to receive any of that shit.
Yeah, but there's nothing quite as humbling as seeing, because I mean, I've moved a lot in my life, seeing your possessions on the back of a truck and you're like, is that all I've...
Yeah, that's what you got.
My life?
That's what you're worth.
It's like that
And
old
especially if
moving...
it's terrible stuff, right?
Yeah. There was an ad for a moving company where they were showing like a moving company that was really bad. The guy with his cigarette hanging out his mouth and the one wheels come off the truck and stuff's falling out the back and the song's something about there go my only possessions.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good ad.
Yeah.
Those scavengers are chilling in their shack with an iPhone 5, says Bitcoin Butt. And Tracy says, my oldest recently discovered my old Sony Walkman. Still had a Rodriguez tape in it. That's very cool.
Wow.
Gijsbert says, if you have some PC RAM somewhere, you can get some cash. RAM prices have gone through the roof with the AI data center boom. That's interesting.
Oh, and CDs. I've got a lot of CDs.
Let's not talk about that. All right, let's talk to Dr. Hanan. Okay, well, James, you should be managing this for me. I shouldn't have to manage it for you. Let's talk to Dr. Hanan. The thing I want to talk to Dr. Hanan about today, and it's something that came up in a discussion that I had with Ben and with James earlier this week. It's like, where are the mad people? Do you remember, it wasn't that long ago when there were only two kinds of mad people. There were people who were crazy and eccentric and interesting, and they were among us in society. Or if they went over the edge, they would go to an asylum.
Right.
Like the lunatic asylum, the mental hospital. And then there were drug addicts. They didn't have other categories. If someone was to... We didn't know about them. Am I wrong?
Well, the thing is that
Mad people. It was mad. She's
but they're
mad.
connected, those two people.
Of course they are. It's very hard. Sometimes there's a grey area between them.
Yes.
And sometimes they were dangerous. There's Dr. Hanan. He's the one who can help us with this. Doc, I'm seriously concerned, and please forgive my lesbian outfit. By the way, Ben's arrived wearing his lesbian outfit.
How's it, guys?
No, have a look. We're all dressed as lesbians today. Leigh-Ann is in her hot lesbian outfit. Ben is wearing his lesbian boots, his lesbian hats. Yeah, this is good. Why didn't you dress as a lesbian, Dr. Hanan? What the fuck's wrong with you?
I didn't pick up on that email.
But it's funny how men, the guys,
No, he looked...
have all picked up on a certain type of lesbian.
Don't you bring your trying to represent...
It's just weird.
Ben has a theory about this. We will get to that later. I've only got limited time with Dr. Hanan, guys. Forgive me. Dr. Hanan, I'm not wrong that just a little while ago, there were only a few kinds of mad, right? And anything that was mental health related, you were mad. I've got a mad old aunt. She's in Sterkfontein or Westkoppies or Valkenburg. Those were the places Tara. It's where mad people went. And we just threw the label mad on everything, from eating disorders to depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, proper lunacy, as it used to be called.
Personality disorder.
All of these things are the same. Like, oh, where's Jenny? Yeah, I remember Jenny. She was at school with us. Oh, she's mad.
Yeah.
That was it. End of Jenny. So what happened to those people? And how come it's become so much more complicated that I even know words like bipolar or schizophrenia or any of this stuff? It's changed a lot. I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. About 50 years ago, it was the extreme cases, the real people that cannot function in society, the schizophrenics, the bipolars, the people that can't interact and function in a healthy way with themselves or other people in society, that were sent to these mental institutions where they were literally locked up and their aim was really to socialize them back into society. But these mental institutions became incredibly unhealthy and destigmatized mental health. And now the pendulum has swung the other way. So now everybody's crazy. I mean, even if you all have normal life experiences such as normal stress, normal sadness, normal grief, normal disappointment, and suddenly you're labeled as mad, and suddenly you need to be sent to these institutions, which doesn't work. It just justifies why people should have, I had a patient yesterday that told me 3 times a week it takes a mental health day.
Wow. 3 times
in other
a
words,
week.
she doesn't go to work. She doesn't go to work 3 times a week, and she's entitled to a mental health day. So the pendulum has really swung that way.
I hope you called up the employer and you said, are you the crazy one? 3 times a week? What kind of productivity is this person able to put out, for God's sake?
Yeah, but they handcuff the employer, because once the employer rejects that, well, you're being stigmatizing. You're not accepting my feelings. My truth is my truth. So unfortunately, it swung the other way, which doesn't just disempower the employer, but actually disempowers the actual patient, because they're giving themselves permission to stand still as opposed to move on and deal with life.
Okay, so remember A Clockwork Orange and what was that other?
Jack
One
Nicholson,
Flew Over the Cuckoo's
yes.
Nest, and all of those kinds of. These were mad people, and I kind of liked them.
Hannibal Lecter, like scary mad.
Yeah, but I've always liked a little bit of crazy, because I do think it keeps the rest of us on our toes. Those people are at the edge of society. They probably should be institutionalized, a lot of them, and were. And I just wonder, because in America, what's happened is that the therapy culture has replaced the idea of, this person's crazy, we need to put them in a mental asylum. Asylum, that word doesn't exist. There are no asylums anymore. No one calls
What is it
themselves
even
that.
by definition?
I just think you can make so much more money out of nuancing these things. Rather than having like a warehouse, the asylum, you could now have boutique stores of craziness. And the medication you can sell into every silo is much bigger.
You're right, Ben. I mean, it's a commercial enterprise. And Dr. Hanan, there was a lot of use of the word crazy this week because Donald Trump, in his State of the Union address, said out loud when Democrats refused to stand for simple and obvious things like, is it the job of the American government to look after Americans over the interests of illegal foreigners? And the Democrats sat there like this. And he's like, these people are crazy. And crazy is a word that you used just now. I mean, we mean it in a very different context. We're not using it as a pejorative. But even that word crazy, if you said someone was crazy, it meant they were certifiable and should not be treated as responsible adults.
Right. So unfortunately, when you use these terms kind of willy-nilly, then you actually disempower the actual term. Now, crazy means anybody that just doesn't agree with your standpoint or with your point of view or with your perspective, which is not true, because when somebody is mentally challenged or somebody that isn't able to function in society and we call them crazy, we put them in the same category as somebody that doesn't agree with your perspective, which is not accurate. But it's very sinister, because these days, to your point, Gareth, the most brilliant people would be labeled crazy because they live on the edge between sanity and insanity, but that creates quite brilliance, actually. That creates brilliance. And in schools, for example, we call these kids outliers. They don't function well. We call them ADHD, but it's actually the teachers and the system that can't handle these brilliant kids. So what do? Is we put them in medication to make them normal, to make them teachable. But what we're doing, we're taking their brilliance away from them as opposed to changing the system or educating the educator to be able to deal with these individuals as well.
Yeah, people, unfortunately, corporate business, parents, schools, they want to manage people. They want to manage and regularize stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, true crazy and true mad, the way I understood it, these are people who should not be allowed to just operate as normal citizens.
Correct.
They're dangerous to themselves. They're dangerous to other people. They can cause enormous damage wherever they go. These are the kind of people who would set fire to something like their car.
Well,
right?
I mean, and Ben will call this Leigh-Annism, but when I was in a mental institution.
Yes, you were. You were mad.
And I woke up out of one of my heavily medicated sessions.
Yeah.
I woke up to the girl next to me saying, and that's when I burnt my house down.
Yes.
So literally mad people burning their houses down.
And you felt right at home.
Well, she rejected me.
Oh, was this
outright?
She, as a friend, she wouldn't have anything to do with you?
No, I woke up and she was kicking my bed and throwing things at my bed.
How exciting.
So, yeah, there was that.
That's because she wanted to be friends with you. I mean, those are the... She has no other way of connecting socially.
She was complaining about my snoring. In the meantime, I was on schedule, whatever, tranquilizer.
I mean, Dr. Hanan, this is. I mean, Leigh-Ann is obviously, she's completely lost her mind, and she never really regained it. So she's
never
a bad.
had it to start with.
She's a bad example, but there is something about this kind of insanity and genius live on the same street, right? They're right next door to each other. Very often, the person who we regard as mad because they set fire to their house or their car in a moment of emotional turmoil, sometimes the same kind of person comes up with a tremendous innovation, forges 10 steps ahead in humanity's story because they just don't see green where the rest of us see green. They see bright fucking orange. We need those people.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
We got to have a place. We got to have a place to put them. We've got to have a label for them. We've got to prevent them from creating so much chaos that they upend all of civilization, which some of them are capable of.
But most
I
of them can't survive on a normal level.
No, they can't. And-
Elon Musk will make money out of his make money
Sure.
out of his craziness, but there is no way, unless I'm medicated and doing a corporate job, that I'm going to survive.
Yeah, of course. This is important. I think but we need them. We need these mad people. And we cannot dispose of them in an institution the way that we used to. So now they're your problem, Dr. Hanan.
Yeah. Well, like somebody like Elon Musk, maybe 50 years ago, would have been hospitalized or put in a mental asylum. We must be careful of these labels that we use. And again, be careful of disempowering ourselves. Even to your point, Leigh-Ann, you would not be able to function without medication or a job. But here's the truth. Nobody would be able to cope without a job. We all need a job to keep us sane, to keep us structured, to create a sense of purpose. That's the truth for human nature. It's not just the truth for you because you're not well. It's the truth for everybody. So we mustn't pathologize something that everybody needs as a way to actually function in the real world.
Damn right. I mean, if Leigh-Ann didn't have a job, you know what she'd be doing? She'd be walking around the pool backwards
I'd be
in a
smearing my
in a
shit on the
underpants.
walls.
Smearing her shit. Oh wow, what a delightful image. All right, anything you'd like, Dr. Hanan, if you have a message for the mad, if someone thinks they're going mad right now this morning, maybe they've just had it with their wife, husband. They've had it with their children. They've had it with their job. They're about to do something really, really stupid or dangerous or they think fun. What advice do you have for those people? And what can you do if you're mad?
Well, usually the people that are so-called mad, they're not even aware of it. They don't have the insight or the wisdom or the introspection to actually acknowledge that they're not doing well. So it's actually the people that are around them that are paying the price for their inability to function in society. So if you have somebody in your family, in your world, that is unable to function, not at work, not with their health, not with their hygiene, not with their kids, not with the people that are closest to them, then get them the appropriate help because they cannot pick themselves up. And a very important point is that we look at these people and say, just be strong or just pick yourself up or do something about it, be responsible, be an adult. But true mental illness, the individuals cannot pick themselves up. They need experts, they need the structures, they need the society to actually help them move from point A to point B, and we need to help them.
I love it. All right, there we go. We're taking it seriously, even though I have a soft spot for mad people. I've got family and
Even
friends.
mad chimps. We were at Jane Goodall's Institute.
I like the mad chimpanzee.
You like the one who was particularly mad. He'd been kept. I think he was a bouncer at a club.
Yeah, they used to dress him up, put a cigarette in his mouth. Yeah, he was an interesting chimp.
That was the one you wanted to adopt.
I think his name was Claude. Funnily enough, no, it was. So there we go.
Oh gosh.
Can't help it. I got a soft spot for the
There you
man.
go.
Thank you, Dr. Hanan.
Yeah, bye guys.
All right. All right, so it is Lesbian Friday here on the show. We're very excited. We're going to take you through our inspirations for our outfits, our lesbian outfits today, and we're going to talk about famous lesbians. Ben has a little show and tell for us on that front.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a top 10 of anything in life, and I think I've worked out the top 10 lesbians of all time.
I'm very excited I have not had sight of this, so I'm very excited to.
Do we have any lesbians watching right now?
I wonder if you're a lesbian, if you will jump in the comment section.
I was at my brother's house. I have told the story before. It was family Thursday or whatever, and it was in the days that I smoked, and the only way I could smoke at his house is if I was banished to the pavement behind a security door, out in the public, just smoking.
Yes.
And two lesbians walked by.
Right.
And they said, "Hello, Leigh-Ann."
Oh.
They were walking their dogs.
Yes.
And I said, "Hi." And they said, "No, we know who you are. You're from Gareth's show." They said, "It's your brother's house, isn't it? Are you house sitting again?"
Wow, they knew everything about you.
Yes. Oh, and they said,
And there you are on the pavement, just trying to have a cigarette.
They said, "Well, sorry to hear about your dad. We know,
Wow, they know
we know he's in
everything.
hospital and everything." I said, "Busy sitting with my mom. She's in a wheelchair." They said, "Yes, we know."
You had nothing to update them on.
Totally random. And then about 4 weeks later, I was doing the same thing, and they walked past again. "Hi,
Yes.
Leigh-Ann." So we do have lesbian listeners.
How did you know they were lesbians? Did they tell you that, or did you
just like we're presuming the way lesbians dress?
Yes, but that's part of the fun, is we have to stereotype people.
I presumed.
This is not a politically correct show, as Ruda Landman discovered once.
Very much so.
They looked like two people who knew each other intimately and loved each other.
Okay, well that's great. I mean, I have awesome news this week from my favorite lesbians. I was at their wedding. They are two of my favorite people in the whole world ever, and they're going to have a kid. They're having a baby. So Nikki's pregnant, and we're all very excited about that. But I sent this song to Robin and said, this really should have been your wedding song, and she just laughed. But this is of course the original lesbian song, long before, Katy Perry did I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. Mm-hmm. I played this a million times on
It's
the show.
from the 70s, I think.
It's from, who knows?
60s.
The album cover has a woman in black and white on it called Alex Dobson or something.
Mm-hmm.
Solid lesbian stage name.
Right. Yeah.
Well, obviously gender neutral name.
Yeah. Long before the transgender people stole this, there were a lot of lesbians who
Gareth,
wanted...
to interject quickly, we're doing the lesbian show because I don't think lesbians get acknowledged enough. I think to go to your earlier point, the crazies have now jumped on this rainbow flag and ruined it for the actual
they have. They've trampled it underfoot.
To which Leigh-Ann said, have intimate relationships that love each other and are normal, functioning, good, valued people.
Yeah. I've always been a big supporter of lesbians on the show, from the early days. We've profiled them. We've tried to give them as much of a platform as possible. And here is the famous lesbian song, just to remind you.
I heard Cheryl and Mary say there are two kinds of people in the world today. One or the other, a person must be. The men are them, the women are we. They agree it's a pleasure to be a lesbian. Lesbian, lesbian, no man's land. Lesbian, lesbian, any woman can be a lesbian. And Liza wishes the library had men and women placed separately. But theirs is the kingdom. She knows who she'll find in the history of mankind. But then she's inclined to be ahead of her time, and she's a lesbian. Lesbian, lesbian, no man's land. Lesbian, lesbian, any woman can be a lesbian. And Carol is tired of being nice, with a sweet smile, a pretty face, submissive device to pacify the people, for they won't defend a woman who's indifferent to men. No, she's my friend, she's a lesbian, and a women's anger, Louise explains, a million second places in the Masters games. Oh, it's real as a mountain, it's strong as the sea. Besides, an angry woman is a beauty. She's chosen to be like me, and she's a lesbian. Lesbian, lesbian, no man's land. Lesbian, lesbian, any woman can be a lesbian. So the sexes do battle, they batter about. The men's are the sexes I will live without. I'll return to the bosom where my journey ends, where there's no penis between us friends. Oh no, will I see you again when you're a lesbian? Lesbian.
Well, I mean, she's not wrong. Any woman can be a lesbian.
Like you had to find
Flex, why did you put in some some stock image of lesbians? I love that.
you can. They are real
Flex
lesbians.
decided he wanted to put us all in the picture. In case you didn't know, he found what do
It's
they
like-
call that? What is that even?
It's like Ben. It's like find us.
iStock Credit Brothers 91.
Find us a picture of a black person. Okay, let me go to iStock. Black person.
Yeah, and they're in a. It looks like they're in a harbor or something where
I thought they were next
ships
to a
and
train.
you know.
To a train. It just
They look like they're in a train
they're
station.
just commuting.
All right, let's talk about the inspiration for Leigh-Ann's lesbian outfit today.
Yes.
Okay, so what's because
So
you
like
thought
I
about
said,
this?
I work with lesbians. I know lesbians. I see lesbians. I'm with lesbians every day.
All right, your credentials are good.
But I did meet a lesbian about 3 weeks ago who's kind of struck me. Really beautiful. I wish I had. I know we spoke about being, dressing up as lesbian, but I didn't really take it seriously, and we only got warning last night. Otherwise, I would have got my hair done, my nails done.
Ben and I have been planning this for weeks, but okay.
So I didn't have much notice, and I did try to find my hair stuff. Oh, I had to shave my legs.
Good.
I haven't shaved them in ages. So
Thank God for that.
That was fun.
Due to the lesbians,
Yeah.
we got that done.
I mean,
well
I would
done.
have had a lot more done because she was really attractive. But yes, here we are.
A glamorous lesbian, and there are a lot of those.
A hot lesbian.
Ben, you went for a more sort of tomboy lesbian look.
Well, my inspiration, of course, is James. Probably the best lesbian that I know.
Okay. Well,
There's something more to it, really.
how would you describe that style? It's kind of not really making a fuss.
Doesn't really care, doesn't think it needs to care. Pretty much rough around the edges and take it as it comes. That was the inspiration behind the James look.
Right. And comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, James is one of the archetypal lesbians in that it's a timeless comfort that they seek
Yes.
to really reaffirm the world that I'm here for it.
Well, I went for, the most obvious and to some people offensive stereotype I could think of. So I got the lumberjack shirt. It's pretty much how most guys dress every day, really. I was going to wear boots, but I decided to opt out of that and went with sneakers instead. But I've got shorts on, which a lot of lesbians like to wear, especially the gardening kind.
It's the half-heartedness that hurts.
No.
Gareth.
You don't tell me you put a lot of effort in here.
You rock up in the sneakers you wear every day. You're gonna go. And
So would a lesbian.
You're gonna take that shirt off and you're gonna go, that's to be done with today.
So would a lesbian.
You were excited about boots, you didn't wear them.
All right. Well, James didn't dress like a lesbian. He always does. So there's nothing to comment on
James
there.
is our North Star of lesbianism.
Flex, if there are any interesting comments on this, you could put them up before we start with the top 10 lesbians, which I think is a very interesting place to go. Are there any interesting comments that we need to refer to here? Anything that you think is worthy? Just pop those up. And what is James doing? Is he taking a shit?
Massive one again.
Okay. Not that I Google lesbians all the time, my friend tells me, says Slippery Pickle. Yeah, we were bound to come up against this, that, the lesbians, too hot lesbians, porn lesbians.
Myth. It's like Game of Thrones lesbians. It's kind of plausible, but
very
not really.
rare.
And then
Very
there's dragons.
rare as dragon's teeth, effectively. That's what it is. How many lesbians has Ben caught with his pokeballs?
I thought that was pokeballs. What are those?
Pokeballs? I think Slippery Pickle, you've gone mad. You need to contact Dr. Hanan because madness is something that we spoke about earlier this morning, and clearly it applies to you. We don't have much else to say about that. I mean it. I've got nothing else to say about that. Absolutely zero. All right, it's time for our the top 10 lesbians. Is this of all time, Ben?
I think it's all time, Gareth. Yeah.
Did you go back into history?
I think from the beginning. I think this is pretty much a comprehensive, top to bottom.
Very excited to see this.
Obviously, open for debate, inclusions, discussions. Everyone's entitled to adding a bit here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Leigh-Ann, any strong political feelings about lesbians? You've probably thought about this quite a lot.
I don't
Is there a party
know.
in South Africa that strongly supports lesbians? Because, as Ben said earlier, they don't get a lot of attention.
I don't associate lesbians with politics, really.
Oh, I'm sure there've been parties.
Same as I don't really associate gay men with politics.
Don't know. They can be quite political. They can be very political, in fact. I would think that a lot of them are, in this country, probably DA supporters.
I don't know. I associate
DA is very big on like
straight
painting
men with
rainbows.
politics.
Yeah, but the DA is all into like painting rainbows on sidewalks and shit like that, trying to pander to the gay community. I'm not sure who's doing that for the lesbians. Maybe this is an opportunity for Herman Mashaba, really, to grab hold of the lesbian community and give them a home, a political home.
Maybe.
Seems fair.
I mean, I don't know, just thinking about countries like Zimbabwe, where,
Yes.
you know, being gay is absolutely shunned. And it
Or
was,
in Uganda, where it's still illegal.
yes, exactly. And I have a Zimbabwean colleague that I've spoken about often as well. Being in the beauty industry, we have shelves and shelves of creams and moisturizers, lotions and potions.
Mm-hmm.
And he will not even put moisturizer on his hands.
It is gay.
Yes.
Why are you gay?
Yes, exactly.
You are gay.
If
Isn't
in
it
fact,
way more gay? Or
when we bring in a new fragrance, he refuses to take off the lid of the fragrance to smell it. I have to take it off for him.
has he considered other work?
to allow
Yeah, I
him
mean, this
to-
is not this is not the greatest
It's like
job
a
for
Muslim
him.
guy going to work in like a
A
bacon
pork
shop.
factory, yeah.
So no, it just happens to be that our clients are in the beauty industry at the moment. He's in tech, but he won't even open a perfume because that's feminine. It's a thing that
He must
ladies
be a
do.
hoot at Valentine's Day, huh?
Yeah. Sounds
Crazy.
Honestly, this is almost religious. This
Yeah.
very odd. But back to lesbians. You know, we tend to get distracted when it comes to lesbians. So let's get into the top 10 lesbians of all time.
Yeah. So
All right.
there is a series of pictures, and then we'll just talk from there. So
All right, let's go.
Number 10.
Flex, you got those? Number 10. There. Oh, wow. Is that a famous lesbian?
So 10, Flex. That'll be the
Yeah.
top one.
Oh, this is that one?
Yeah. So Joan of Arc, lesbian
Oh.
number 10.
She wasn't a lesbian, Ben.
Gareth, never married, always wore men's clothing.
No, Ben, not a lesbian. She, first of all, was highly, highly religious and devoted. She
Mask.
was a virgin, so she never had a relationship with man or woman. Yes, she did wear men's clothes,
How
but
do
she.
we know? We don't know that. It's the
Why
same
are
as
you so
saying that
No.
Gareth?
Yes, we do.
it's the same as saying
I'll tell you how we know.
Mary was a virgin.
No, I'll tell you how we know. Because the trial of Joan of Arc, there were two separate trials, are extraordinarily well documented. There are pages and pages of the original medieval transcripts of the trial and ultimately the execution of Joan of Arc. We know everything about her dreams, how she explained her wearing the men's clothing, how she explained going to war, how she explained the voices that spoke to her that they tried to say were devils, that she said was the voice of God or St. Michael. We know all this stuff. Not a lesbian. But for the sake of argument, let's go.
I think she was a lesbian icon. I think she was very empowering towards women. I think she did a lot of things that a lot of women wouldn't have felt they could do if they weren't lesbians.
All right,
That was
well,
my take, Gareth. But I mean, if you want to fight me on
Fine,
this,
I'm going to throw her off the list, though.
I just think she's been persecuted enough, and now you want to throw over the coals again.
She's wearing a nice men's dress in that.
Yeah, you know, my problem, though, Ben, is that the trans communities also tried to grab hold of Joan of Arc and use her as an ambassador.
Oh.
She would not have approved.
Okay,
she was a
well-
highly, highly religious, old school Catholic in every way.
All right, on to number 9 then, Flex.
Sorry to spoil your fun there, Ben.
Billie Jean King.
I know. What a great woman.
Fantastic lesbian, amazing tennis player.
Yes.
And contrary to much thought, was not the inspiration for Michael Jackson's song Billie Jean.
No, not at all.
Right.
Michael Jackson, who didn't fuck the kids, his song Billie Jean was about all these loose women who used to go up to his brothers and say, "Oh, I'm pregnant with your kid."
Oh, right.
And then Michael wrote Billie Jean about all these women who used to just basically claim that they were pregnant with the Jackson 5 boy.
Right.
So Billie Jean, phenomenal tennis player and very
she's
much
the first person I remember from tennis.
I mean, like when the lesbian team was basically founded, she said, "Pick me, coach." She
And
waltzed
she's
in
been
there.
a strident advocate.
Strident lesbian from the beginning, yeah. So Billie Jean King, number 9 of lesbians.
Right.
Next up, just pipping her at the post, there would be Martina Navratilova.
I know. And
Me, I hardly recognized her in that.
And really, not a great
lesbian.
picture you've selected there, Ben. I mean, she used to, in her time, she had some glamour. Can't say that she was,
Gareth,
Steffi Graf, but she had some. She looks like.
I know you don't do the content thing, but you try find me a glamorous picture from the 90s. You go ahead. Yeah. Do you think people were like taking pictures back then, uploading them?
Fair
She
enough.
was from the Billie Jean King picture was just lucky.
Okay.
So it's not to be disparaging. I think she's an iconic lesbian to this
Oh,
day.
definitely.
Still to this day. She famously wore shorts at Wimbledon because she wanted to wear shorts.
Ah, I think, she also didn't allow the Duke of Kent to slap her ass at the end of the tournament, as had become.
None of that.
I had a
kind
boss who did that.
You had a boss. Yes, I remember you
Yeah.
did. But yes, Martina Navratilova, absolutely an iconic lesbian and one of the most famous of all time.
Yeah, number 7 on this list. Obviously didn't get all the recognition, but Katie Lang back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A proper lesbian.
Yeah. No, you see, that was kind of the look Leigh-Ann was going for today.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks.
Katie Lang just nailed the short hair.
Yeah.
Good musician in her own lane.
Now,
Was
when
she a good musician? Did she only ever had like one
And
or
this
two
is, not,
albums?
this is not a show to be disparaging about lesbians.
Yeah, and it's also not your music review hour. Okay,
Yeah.
so give her a chance.
What was her main song, man?
Oh, Leigh-Ann, it's so insulting.
I can't remember.
Look it up. But my favorite, I don't want to spoil what might be coming up, but have you got Melissa Etheridge in here?
It was a very competitive list, Gareth. You telling me that Melissa Etheridge is a better lesbian than Katie Lang?
I kind of liked Melissa Etheridge. She had a song called "I Want to Come Over," which was all about hard.
Constant Craving and Miss
That's right.
Chatelaine.
Constant Craving, very good.
Constant Craving.
And that's how she sang it.
Sounds like a good lesbian song.
Melissa Etheridge's song "I Want to Come Over" was kind of like she's a desperately horny lesbian who's just going to meet the girl at the back door and give her a proper graunching and then go home afterwards.
Okay. Well, I'm
You're
glad
missing
that's-
out if you don't have Melissa Etheridge on there,
Okay.
but okay.
Now, on to number 6 of the top 10 lesbians.
Right?
Jodie Foster.
Yes.
Love
Fantastic
her.
lesbian, celebrated actress,
Absolutely.
and pretty
So
much
beautiful. And I saw a picture of her when she was younger just recently. So beautiful.
and maybe the only kind of person that could have handled the Silence of the Lambs role.
Yes, Clarice.
Yeah.
That is incidental. I want to eat your liver with some fava beans and a fine Chianti.
Exactly. And Jodie Foster, being the fine lesbian that she was, could stand up to that role and deliver what made it a great movie.
And let's not forget that the man who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan was hoping that Jodie Foster would take note when he tried to kill the president and fall in love with him.
Which adds to her iconicness.
Yep. I mean, if you're going to kill a president
Wild horses couldn't
for a
drag
lesbian,
her.
it better be that lesbian.
Yeah.
You know?
Into the top 5, and that's where it gets really difficult to kind of just obviously pick the best. But number 5, Flex, Megan Rapinoe. She is a top 5 lesbian.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait.
Well,
is
I mean,
she?
she's a football player. I mean, she's she's one of those. Unfortunately, we got to take the good with the bad, right?
Right.
More of that moany lesbian, equal
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah.
We can do it better. Blah
Right.
blah blah. And she was the face of a very annoying wave of lesbianism, which has pretty much died out. Let's be honest.
I think it
was too
Yeah, its
performative.
time was thankfully quite short.
Very performative lesbian era, and ultimately with not a lot of substance. And but she's in the top 5 when you consider how she's associated as being an iconic lesbian.
And for Leigh-Ann's purposes and for the context of the audience, she was the women's football captain.
Of the American
The
team.
American team.
Yeah.
Megan Rapinoe. Okay, well, you know what? You're right. We got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Lesbians can't just have all-round heroes like Martina Navratilova and Jodie Foster. They have to have a couple of villains.
Sure. And then number 4.
Oh, this is getting exciting.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes.
Ah, okay,
Brilliant,
great lesbian.
brilliant lesbian. A little bit different because actress, comedian, at a tough time when you didn't expect lesbians to thrive in that sort of market.
She's so amazing, and she talks about her French wife, who's a white woman and permanently smokes like all French people do, and they've got a kid together.
I love.
She's just brilliantly humorous.
Yeah, you can hear Wanda Sykes. If you walked past a recording and her voice was in there, you'd know immediately it was her. She's hilarious. She's quite political. Not that I have a problem with that. You know, we're talking about great lesbians here, so I don't mind Megan Rapinoe and Wanda Sykes.
I think unfortunately
politics.
celebrities become political when they become irrelevant.
Yeah,
it's
she's
a
no
later
longer
career thing.
Yeah, she's no longer really punching at the top of the charts.
Yeah. But
She's
in her prime.
recently done an amazing tour. And I think one of the best things that came out of that was her description. She you know, when a woman wears Spanx, there are these horrible things that hold everything in, and they tend to roll down slowly
Oh yeah.
until your fupa eventually makes its exit.
How disgusting.
And she was talking about how she'd be on a guest on like a talk show,
Yeah.
and there'd be a platter of cheese, and how her stomach, which she calls Esther, loves cheese, and how Esther,
She has a name for her stomach.
yes, and how Esther was eyeing out the cheese on the table and started coming out of her Spanx. She was like, give me the cheese. And
No,
she was
she-
like, not now, Esther.
She is funny. She's great. Okay, so
Brilliant.
Wanda Sykes, well spotted there, Ben. I had almost forgotten she was a lesbian.
Well, she hasn't, and Leigh-Ann hasn't, and everyone else hasn't now.
Right,
Into
thanks.
the top 3, Gareth. This is when it really
Dun,
is
da, da, da.
the royalty of lesbians.
Okay,
And number
let's go.
3 is Ellen.
Oh,
Has to be top
Again.
3 on the podium of lesbianism.
but what a villain.
Ellen always looked like that really annoying little Afrikaans boy who you had to like spend time with at a birthday party. You know, always like spoke too much, no self-awareness. And ultimately came out to be a villain because she treated everyone like shit on her talk show.
That's superb. I have never thought of her that way, but yes, there are annoying Afrikaans boys who want
The
your
big
attention
ears,
that
right?
look
That's
like that.
It's that annoying Afrikaans boy who's just constantly shouting the whole time.
Right.
You know, like when you go to like a Christmas market and there's
Yes.
one ride you can go on.
Yes.
And that little fucker is just ruining Ellen.
Well, the reason I say villain is because
She
obviously
wasn't always, obviously.
No, but I mean, she also used to be a very funny comedian when she started out in comedy. She was, I don't even think anyone knew people probably knew, but she never admitted she was a lesbian for the first while
Then she had a very big coming out.
and had that famous relationship, which I think is still going on, Portia de Rossi.
But
Yeah,
before
she-
that, Anne Hesh, who's now dead.
Anne Hesh, that's
Yeah.
right. She was the first girlfriend.
Very
and-
toxic relationship.
And Ellen now, for some people, is a villain because there were all these stories about how horrible she was to her staff, how abusive she was. She was often mean to guests. There's probably some residual aggression
Yeah.
there, which I don't know.
Still with Portia. It was her birthday about
Yeah.
a month or two ago.
Yeah, so the thing about Ellen, like she rode the wave of lesbianism well. Like
Mm-hmm.
she hit the peak of lesbianism. Like you say in the beginning, she was quite low-key lesbian. But then when it was at its pomp, she did the talk show. She was it.
Yes, she was.
And she really...
She was one of the most powerful people in entertainment for a while, without a doubt.
And also
Leveraging
a way
lesbian.
for white conservative American women to accept lesbianism.
That too.
Because they liked her.
That too.
Yeah. Another thing is that she is also hugely political. Decided to move to England, I think, a short while ago, but now has given up on that and is moving back to Trump's America. So, another kind of a bit of a hypocrite. Let's see what happens with Ellen. She's definitely not in the limelight anymore,
No, she's been cancelled. So
but maybe also she's quite pleased about that because she was in the full glare of it
She
for a
would
long
have made
time.
more than enough money and
Oh, sure.
not having to go and do work.
She could
Bollocks.
just
Lesbian around.
Yeah, lesbian around with Portia de Rossi, doing lesbian things.
Amazing.
Which is
What
great.
a dream.
Yeah.
On to number 2.
This is a great list, Ben.
Number 2 is Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh,
Phenomenal lesbian. And I think being a lesbian since day one and now found her perfect iteration
what a great picture.
of lesbianism.
What a great picture. She's lounging next to a pool
Yeah.
on a fur-covered chair.
I mean, it just goes to show how competitive this list is, that Caitlyn Jenner did a lot to get onto this list.
Yes, sure.
And ultimately, very openly loves women, only
Yeah.
ever been interested in women, and always wanted to be a woman. So I don't know
true.
how much more lesbian you can really get.
That's true. And even was prepared to go to transition
Yeah,
from
she
being
had
a
to
man.
change sex to become a lesbian.
Yeah, that's a
become
lot of
classified.
Ultimate price, guys.
that's commitment,
As a lesbian.
right?
If
You know
you
how they
wanted-
say at breakfast, the chicken is involved, but the pig is committed.
See, she's the hot, glamorous lesbian.
But this is just the point I'm making here. Like, you want to ever question Caitlyn Jenner's list on the top 10 lesbians in the world?
No,
I tell you, it's the ultimate price.
Does she
I agree.
identify as a lesbian, though?
Of course.
Does she?
Well, she's
I
a
think
woman
we
who
can
likes
infer.
women.
I think we can infer that.
She's a woman who likes women.
And by the way, a famous parent of Kylie and Kendall Jenner,
Yeah.
also who you think they're also lesbians?
Everybody can be a lesbian.
That's
Gareth.
true.
Did you
We
not
learned
hear the
that.
song
Any
earlier?
From
woman,
Alex
any woman
Dobson
can
or
be.
whatever
That's
her
why
name
she
is.
had to transition.
Like we're all lesbians.
All right, so this is now we've got the number 1 coming up.
So let's put a pause right now.
Right.
And can you guess? Let's get some answers here.
Wow. I'm trying to think of. I mean, this would be an obvious one, right?
Well, is it though?
Because
it
number
is-
1 lesbian,
It is when we get into it. But
Princess Anne.
no,
She's not a lesbian. Okay.
Leigh-Ann as a woman.
So is this a good person or a bad person?
Good.
That's
well,
everyone is good and bad, Leigh-Ann.
Yeah, and she's number 1 lesbian of all time. Obviously, a good person
Good
because
person.
really put
Well, I
lesbians
had
on
to
the map.
check. I mean, there were some bad people on that list.
Could actually be looked at as like the godmother of lesbianism.
Jermaine Greer.
No.
Oh, there's that other comedian,
Is it a
dark
comedian?
hair.
Who?
She
Currently not alive, guys.
Rosie O'Donnell.
not
No.
alive.
Not alive.
Rosie O'Donnell's a famous
Hasn't been
lesbian.
alive for a long time.
Hasn't been alive for some time. Politics,
No,
entertainment,
to a degree.
sport,
No.
short hair.
A thespian lesbian.
I feel like you're pushing. Are you googling this game?
No, I started typing dead lesbians, but I didn't even get that far.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Your
didn't get that
lesbians.
far.
Your search is going really well. Guys,
why
I
don't-
think I'll put it out of your misery. Flex, let's roll the picture there.
All right, let's see.
The greatest lesbian of all time is Sappho.
Sappho.
Sappho, right? From the island of Lesbos. That's where the word lesbian
Yes.
comes from.
Ben, I would never have been able to guess
So over
this one.
2,500 years ago, the number 1 lesbian on the list here, she was writing same-sex poetry about lesbians getting stuck in, having a good time,
How exciting.
feeling their way through life as same-sex. And then that was the cornerstone of lesbianism right there.
How amazing. You've taught me things. I knew the name Sappho, and I've definitely seen
How do you spell it?
Sappho.
Yeah, from the island of Lesbos, Leigh-Ann, and that's where it comes from. The term lesbian
That's right.
is accredited to this woman who you cannot have a top 10 without obviously acknowledging the source.
You know, this list has been tremendous and faultless, really, with the possible exception of Joan of Arc, who I think you erroneously, on fake news and false information
I just think
from
when you look
cheap
at
historians, you included her by mistake. I'm willing to forgive it, and you did put her at number 10, but every other one of the top 9 I cannot fault. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's spot on.
yeah, I think so too, and I think it's worth obviously you've got to give credit where credit's due. Everything comes from something, and to find the first person,
I think this is great.
the person zero of lesbianism, and there we are.
Anyone in the comments who's said we should include someone who isn't here on Ben's list? Were there any other good suggestions that came up there? You can pop them on. Oprah. Yeah, well, that's possibly a good lesbian. Although,
Potentially, yeah,
you know, Oprah, we never really... I mean, she's best friends with Gail.
perhaps a bit too malicious.
too malicious
More
to
of
be
more
in
of
the
an
top
Ellen
10.
lesbian.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I think Oprah.
Well,
Ellen,
she keeps Stedman in a hut. I don't know if that's more incriminating.
hey, some lesbians, it's all about putting the man in his place. Oprah's good at that, by the looks of things. Barbara Bush.
Great lesbian name, that.
Yeah, I mean, it is a
Phenomenal
great
lesbian name.
Barbara Bush. Well, she produced a lot of kids, and she was married to George H.W., but who knows? Maybe a secret lesbian.
Every woman can be a lesbian.
Every woman,
We
yeah.
just keep coming back
Right,
to this, Gareth.
absolutely. Whoopi Goldberg.
I realized Caitlyn Jenner can't be classified as a lesbian.
Oh, don't you dare bring this
How dare
travesty
you?
No,
of
How
justice.
dare you, Leigh-Ann? On what
She
grounds?
herself says that trans people are not women. Trans men are.
No. Leigh-Ann, she's gone the hard yards. She's taken the sacrifice.
They're not women.
No, I'm
And
afraid.
any woman can be a lesbian, but not a man.
Leigh-Ann, Caitlyn Jenner has gone to all the lengths necessary to prove her bona fides about being. I've always said that you can't change your biological sex, right? But I'm willing to bend the rules to let Caitlyn Jenner stay at number 2 here. I think I'm
Me
with
too.
Ben.
I mean, like, Leanne's just poo-pooing my list here completely,
Yeah.
but I will stand firm on number 2 as well.
Yes, please don't. And if you're going to go down this path, Leigh-Ann, you could just leave. We don't need your
Amazing, yeah, she shaves her
negativity.
legs once and she becomes so mouthy.
Strident feminist.
So
Yeah, I know.
strident.
All right. Well, that's very good. Any other comments we need to pay attention to, or can we move on?
So Melissa Etheridge wasn't on
No,
your list?
but I'm willing to, on my list, which will be
There's
separate.
Tracy
Gareth-
Chapman as well.
Gareth, you know what? Let's sub out Joan of Arc from Melissa Etheridge then. I mean, call it
Okay,
quits.
we have a good compromise. Thanks, lesbian
10.
Ben.
Number
Just
10.
look at how you look like a 14-year-old lesbian boy, girl. Look, what about Greta Thunberg? She's not a lesbian, is she?
Well,
Paula
I don't-
Santos?
No, she's
I
far
don't
too annoying.
associate her as being a sexual person. Really.
No, I don't think she even. I think it's all dried up and closed, and she's probably poured concrete in there. So I don't think she has any sexuality at all. Is that rude?
So not a lesbian.
I think she's sealed it up with concrete. Mike Obama, well, also not a lesbian, because Big Mike, with a man, can't be a lesbian. See?
Yeah, well, look, there's some fundamentals we're obviously bringing out in the show today,
Sure.
but I think we can move on.
Okay, Bitcoin Bot, thank you for the last suggestion. And a lot of you casting aspersions on very good people like Oprah, which we don't appreciate. And we're going to get into some sport now because we need to also cater to things that lesbians care about. And a lot of lesbians are
They do
very
love
into sport.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that with Ben in a second. Thanks, Ass. That's a very sparkly water bottle that you've got there.
Yeah, it's my
Look at that. Good God.
juicy couture bottle.
Good Lord.
I just think if any of the people who listen to you on this show are going to see you walk into the office right now and they're going to think, shit, if Leigh-Ann didn't have this job, she'd be smearing her shit on the wall.
Certainly would be.
that line will forever be
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of those we know her better lines.
Completely unhinged.
It's like if Leigh-Ann ever has a sick day, I'd be like, oh God, at home right now, those walls.
Okay, bye, Ass. Have a happy day.
Bye, Leigh-Ann.
All right. So, Ben, let's get stuck into the sport, just like we got
Gareth.
stuck into that top 10 lesbian list.
So, yeah, interesting weekend because the Champions League, we're now at the round of 16 stage. James, do you want me to move?
Oh my
Stand there and wave at me.
You know, James, I got to say, he's the most annoying lesbian. Here,
You know, of all the
He really
days,
is.
he's looking smarter. He got a haircut.
he's done this. He is apparently moving in with his girlfriend. They've both moving into a place together. I'm just worried because Flex obviously lives in the same complex as James.
Currently.
And Flex messaged me at 4:40 this morning and said, morning, are you up? Haven't heard from James. And then I said, well, you're going to have to do what you have to do, Flex. And he went over and then basically broke and entered James's house. And then James woke up.
See, James loves stereotypes. Hey, you see how he
but
laughed there?
What I'm worried about here is that without Flex, who's the most responsible person on the show, who's going to make sure James is awake for the Friday show? Your girlfriend? Winston the dog, yeah. Well, probably more responsible
I just hate
than
the
James.
fact that we pander to James like he's a soft child.
Yeah, he is.
It's like he's an actual person who has an actual job, and like he rolls with these stories. You hear, look at him laughing in his Red Bull.
He thinks
there.
it's very funny.
Whatever he's drinking now, because he's not drinking Red Bull.
It's one of those drinks that if you pour it into a glass, you see that it's actually fluorescent green. It's one of those.
Guys, this is how we make soft people in this world. We pander to their little quirks. Like, he's going to
So what should we do? Beat him again? We've tried that. We've tried that. We brought the dominatrix in.
Start everything with a Shambok and see how it goes. It's not Flex's job to make sure that James does his job. Flex is already funny. He works through this tirelessly.
Yeah, he has enough on his plate. Yeah. All right, but let's get into sport, Ben.
Yeah, so like I was saying, round of 16 now for the Champions League. Champions League is so great this year. It really is, because obviously you've got the English teams that are doing particularly well. And then you've got other teams like Paris Saint-Germain who don't seem to care about the group stage. The exact same thing happened last year. They didn't really give a shit about it. They just know that they can get to the round of 16 and then they drop hammer. And they won it last year. So this week it was confirmed who the other 8 teams are going to join the top 8. So during regulation play, the top 8 go straight through to round of 16. So Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Spurs, Barcelona, Chelsea, Sporting, Man City. And then the next 16 teams play against each other. They get drawn, and then the top 8 of them go through. So Bayer Leverkusen beat Olympiacos. Bodo Glimt, those fish salesmen from Norway.
Is that their name?
They hammered Inter Milan 5-2. Atalanta are going to go through. They beat Dortmund. PSG snuck in against Monaco. Real Madrid were too good for Benfica, so they go through. Galatasaray, the Turks, they've hammered Juventus. They'll go through. Atletico Madrid go through, as do Newcastle with the striker who looks like Princess Diana.
That's right. You told us about him last week.
Okay, so all those teams now go through. And today, 12 o'clock, I'm sure it'll be on Supersport, will be the actual draw of who plays who. And round of 16 will be the 10th, 11th of March and the 17th and 18th of March. So we'll put some posts out today on the Bounce Show on the channel to show you who's playing who. And it's really exciting because now the rest, like we're into that second part of the season now in football where the champions come out, right? The guys are now trying to win the leagues. They're trying to win the big cups. They're now into the knockout stage of the Champions League. This is when football becomes extra incredible. Mm-hmm. The stakes are raised to another level. It really is just a really incredible time of football. Premier League action, of course, carries on. Arsenal are currently 5 points clear of Man City, but Man City has a game in hand. So again, it's squeaky bum time here. And there's this beautiful dynamic if you are a neutral. Obviously, the moment Arsenal doesn't win, everyone just calls them bottlers. Then Arsenal goes and hammers a team and suddenly you hear nothing. Mm-hmm. And then Man United are slowly but surely getting back up there. I know they dropped points against West Ham and that guy couldn't cut his hair. But they were good. They beat Everton. They're definitely going to finish above Liverpool, which is hugely embarrassing for James. Yeah. So, yeah.
Add that to the list of embarrassments.
So this weekend, major games to look for, of course, for the top 2 teams. Leeds are hosting Man City at 7:30 Saturday. And then Sunday, Arsenal has another huge match that everyone's going to hope that they lose, because that's what happens when you're on the top. Everyone hates you. Arsenal-Chelsea at 6:30. Very, very exciting weekend. Just around, there's other games, obviously. In the PSL, it's the big Soweto derby this weekend.
Okay.
You know, we had this hope this year that Sundowns would get challenged. Maybe they will. I don't know. They currently are top of the log, as are Pirates. Pirates are really up there as well. And then Chiefs are currently in 4th. So a whole lot better this season. Chiefs fans have something to cheer about now. And Saturday, it'll be Chiefs versus Pirates, the big Soweto derby.
That's where people pitch up with their makarapas.
It's
and
huge, Gareth. It's
and
FNB Stadium.
And they make a big
biggest
noise. What happens, because I haven't been to a PSL game since, I don't know, I was 20 or something. What happens outside the actual stadium and around the stadium during these games? Are people having food and drink, or do they go home afterwards? Like, well, how does it all unfold?
I mean, look, there's not much of an after game because it's dark and it's actually
okay.
This game's schedule is started at 3:30.
Okay.
What normally happens is because so many people are converging in one place, the kickoff sometimes gets delayed.
Okay.
Because it's difficult to process everyone getting.
So we're not going to start on time.
So I mean, look, but it starts everywhere with these big games. You know, it's like throughout Soweto, there's like a lot of pre-gaming that goes on. There's pre-gaming in cars. There's pre-gaming in a variety of senses. And everyone just converges on this one absolute
We're all wearing
humanity.
our regalia, and we've all got loud music playing.
It's a jewel. And unlike other, this is the thing that we don't get enough credit for, and I have mentioned it a couple of times, but I'll do it again. You go anywhere in the world where there's big derbies, there are like police, there's like dogs, there's riot police, there's this team, and then there's
especially
this team.
with the Polish.
Yeah, they're
very, very aggressive and violent.
Well behaved. But this is one of the biggest derbies, fiercest rivals, and Chiefs and Pirates fans sit next to each other. They sit amongst each other in the whole stadium, and it just works. I mean, drunks fight, and it happens, right? You will get a few skirmishes from time to time because that's just humans. But it's just a beautiful thing that in a Soweto derby where the stakes are so, especially now, like both teams need to win this game to have any chance of trying to win the league and just get up to that top 4. And you will find an amazing vibe. So that'll be tomorrow at 3:30.
Right, good.
Cricket right now, Gareth. Wow. The Proteas, and I'm going to put it all down to SA20. When the Betway SA20 happened, everyone loved cricket. The vibe was so great. The players felt good, and the tournament was incredible. Straight afterwards, we've gone to this World Cup. It's like our players still have kept that vibe. The goodwill, the confidence, the momentum. We are absolutely hammering teams right now. In the group stages, we thought New Zealand could be a bogey team. Ha, bollocks. Hammered them. We then thought India was going to be a tough game. Hammered them. And now we have just absolutely humbled the West Indies, who were looking so good to this point. So we've qualified for the semis.
Really, it's wide open for us, right?
We've already qualified for the semis, but we're beating teams by huge margins.
Mm-hmm.
Aidan Markram is looking like he's never looked before. He's captaining this team. He's batting so well. He's scoring runs. He's scoring incredibly quickly. Lungi Ngidi is now bowling like he is the greatest guy who's ever held a white ball in his hand. It's so beautiful to watch. And I know everyone's going to say, yeah, Ben, we've seen it before. It's the hope that kills us, blah, 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 blah. I think you just got to believe in this team the way this team's believing in itself right now.
I love that. Who are our biggest threat, though, on the way out? Because we've got, you said, semi-finals. So
yeah, so semi-finals. I mean, England are looking good right now. They've also qualified for the semis. We've got one more game against them. The wheels have fallen off for.
Oh, really?
They've, in the last 2...
I heard their anthem for the first time yesterday. They were playing India, I think.
Okay, yeah, they played India yesterday.
And I saw them on TV with their anthem. It's a shit anthem. I got to say, Zimbabwe, you have a absolutely abominable anthem.
So weird. I know so many anthems, but that one doesn't come to mind.
Well, it doesn't even have a melody. It just kind of meanders. It goes nowhere. Melissa Etheridge and Katie Lang would never have allowed this if you'd asked them to write your anthem.
Well, that's another thing. I think get some lesbians to make better anthems.
Right.
Like the anthem you played earlier.
Patrick says, excellent shit, this cricket. So he agrees with you.
Yeah, Patrick, it's a great time. But we were saying this last year. We've got this beautiful run-in of cricket and how things are working right now. And we've got upcoming tours as well that are being confirmed. So we've got the upcoming tours of Australia. They're coming for 3 test matches. Bangladesh, 2 test matches. England, 3 test matches. All kicking off from September. There's
Right.
an ODI series as well. There's more T20s. The guys are going to New Zealand. But the most important thing right now is that this team is looking so battle-hardened. They're looking like they're enjoying themselves. That team is so star-studded.
Good.
And it's a joy to watch. So, yeah, into the semis we're going to go next week. England looking like the big team to beat. And on top of that, Sri Lanka, maybe.
Will the Proteas choke on that semi?
This is why we can't have nice things, because of people like you, Bitcoin Bud.
Yeah.
Why do you even think that?
Thinking about crypto all the time. Not even able to take a
Just
break on
because-
Lesbian Friday to think about something else.
Bitcoin's choking at the moment doesn't mean the Proteas are going to choke. Like, we've got to be better as fans. We can't just have these stupid narratives like, oh, yeah, they're doing well now, but now they're going to... Shut up. You can do anything in this world when you put your mind to it and craft good thoughts.
With that outfit, you've got to be careful not to be too aggressive, Ben.
Sorry, but
Nothing scarier than a very aggressive lesbian.
I just think we could all be better, and we can't just sit in the past and go, oh, the Proteas are going to choke. Shut your mouth.
No.
These guys are working hard.
I think the content of your argument is superb. Let's back these guys, and what have you got to lose? It's
Exactly.
not like you sitting
Yeah.
at home are going
Exactly.
to be able to enjoy not making the finals, for example. Let's go with this. Let's see how much we can put into it.
Exactly. So look, there's rugby this weekend. The URC is back because the Six Nations is taking a little breather. The Six Nations have become France are going to win.
Okay.
So last week we had this big discussion of how the Sharks are going to, come back. It's the redemption time. They'll get into that top 8. The new coach has been now made the confirmed permanent coach.
Right.
And what did they do? They went to the Lions and got hammered. Beaten. So disappointing. So the Lions, who are now in 7th on the log of the URC, will be hosting the Stormers at Ellis Park at 2:30 on Saturday. The Bulls, who are still 8th, oscillating on the playoff or not, they'll take on the Sharks at 5. That'll be tomorrow. But yeah, the big talk in rugby this week is that Rusty Erasmus has his first alignment camp. So he's brought in a whole bunch of Oaks together. They've announced that they're going to play the Barbarians in Koberga in the, I think, 20th of June. It's like a tune-up game for the guys. And the moment that Springbok team gets together, everyone gets excited. It's like, look how great our players are. We're going to go do this. And this is the really cool thing. And I think it's like a massive halo effect that we're seeing in the Proteas now. And hopefully with Bafana in the World Cup in June is that this Springbok team is so damn good and they fight for everything and they're the world champs. We are going through a cricketing era right now where there's no doubt we've had better players.
Right.
We've had better dynasties when you look at the sheer quality. But these folks want to fight for each other. And they're really actually, I mean, there was a time we had really great players, but they all had like swimsuit model girlfriends. And that was almost like the play. Whereas now, the guys still are getting hot chicks, no doubt. But it's not like their identity. It's like they're fighting for each other as cricketers. Because that's how cricket used to work,
Yes,
right?
it's true.
Cricket was all about touring, punching way above your weight with girls.
Yes.
Getting really, really hammered and being promiscuous. That was the cornerstone of being a professional cricketer. Now the guys were a lot more together. Huh?
Okay.
I would even say maybe even more boyfriend material. They're better people now.
Okay.
Simple as that. Look, cricketers, professional cricketers my age, come at me all you want, but you know that's what life was about. Used to go overseas for like 2-3 months. Yokes were lost. But now it's so much better. They're so much more professional. And look what's happening. We're looking good in World Cups.
Calm down, Lesbian.
Shut your mouth. And yeah, guys, finally golf. It's the SA Open right now. The Investec SA Open is our big national thing. And they've like tickets sold out. You don't get sold out golf events.
That's amazing.
You will for Live coming up in March.
Where are they playing?
Stellenbosch.
Okay.
So they've dressed Stellenbosch up. They've made it longer. They've added more bunkers. It's a little bit ropey in places.
Probably a couple of lesbian gardeners being pulled in there.
Totally.
Sure.
So yeah, that'll be all weekend. Currently, there's a 4-way tie at 5 under. Delray, Burmester, Dean, and Lindell. It's going to be difficult to score. They've made it a par 70. For members, it's par 72. So what happens is they just take the easier par 5s and make them tough par 4s. So it'll be difficult to score. The wind's going to get up. There'll be a spot of rain. But it's just so great seeing so many people enjoying golf. And that, Gareth, is, that's pretty much your weekend of sport. Champions League draw from midday today. Go on, Arsenal.
I'm just telling James he must get us a Melissa Etheridge song to take a break with, so that we can get that going. Melissa Etheridge song for a break quickly. I think that would be very, very nice. I want to come over. I want you to hear the words.
Do we take breaks? We're
quite strident. I want to take a break. I want us to take a break. We've got a very busy show this morning, Ben. There's a ton of stuff to get to. We're going to get to Zonia in a moment or two. We're going to get to Matt C. Smith a little bit later on, find out about the Winter Olympics. I got to tell you, with the poor coverage we had in this country, it really felt like you had to work hard to get that. And I've had a lot of people comment on our discussion about Canal Plus and Supersport from the other day, Ben.
It's tough reality right now.
It is. It is. So media in this country is in a tough place. I was at a conference yesterday where they were talking about media in South Africa and how much it's changed. But let's welcome Zonia.
Hello.
Hello, Zonzons.
How are you?
Okay, so Zonia's been...
Hey, Lesbian.
Bensbian.
I think it's going to stick, though.
Yeah.
It is not.
So Zonia is a friend of mine from Varsity, but she's been working in the NGO space for some time, which you deserve a gold medal for, by the way.
Public health.
Yeah, public health especially. I mean, that is a tough place to be. So we were talking, antiretrovirals. We were talking about people learning how to identify all kinds of issues in the public health sphere.
Yeah. Abuse, sexual
abuse,
reproductive health.
and this
young
got
people.
this got you very conscientized into what the real world is like for so many people in this country, what they're dealing with on a daily basis, and you decided, I don't want to work for these other NGOs anymore. I want to start my own project, which I have an idea for, and you'll tell me in a second exactly how it came about. But I think this is an amazing thing, and I don't just have you on the show because you're a friend of mine, and people might remember you from an episode or two back in the Cliff Central days. Yeah. But you've gone and created this. I suppose it's an event everyone can take part in. It's something that especially is useful for people who have mental health challenges, people who are going through situations of abuse, people who are dealing with the harsh realities of daily life in South Africa. And this is the start of what may help them to cope. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've spent the last 6 years in public health, and I come from private sector before that, and I've seen both sides of the coin, and you can't unsee it, and you can't unsee the gaps.
What do you mean it's horrible?
Well, the thing is, there's people that need services, and then there's free services.
Right.
Right. So what's the gap? So is it labeling terminology? Is it stigma? Is it so? What I wanted to do is really get to the root cause of things. So because what we're doing is we addressing a lot of the symptoms, which is expensive. So I wanted to get to the root cause. And the other thing is I wanted to be able to open up the conversation so that people can get involved.
Okay, so what is the root cause?
So it depends on what you look at. But if we look at our children today, they're facing a lot of trauma. They are in environments where there's high poverty, high crime, high abuse. It puts these children in extreme disempowering situations.
Right.
Now, couple that with the pressure of one having to perform, plus adult responsibilities. And I'm not talking
You're
about
talking child-headed households and that sort of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's intense. It's literally being responsible for the survival of your siblings.
Yes.
And then now you've got that. Then you've got a 60% unemployment amongst the youth. Okay. Where are people finding money from? So if you're female or male, I suppose as well, what's your only currency? Right? It's your body. So that brings into play our issue with high teen pregnancy rates. So every single day there's about 2 airplanes. And anyone that's been on a plane, 2 airplanes worth of babies being born every day from girls below the age of 19.
And we know, I mean, this is just the most horrible thing to have to acknowledge as a country, but a lot of these girls are being impregnated by other boys at their schools, because these are teen pregnancies, right? And also by teachers. This is another disgusting fact about South Africa, as we talk a lot about the abuse of, gender-based violence and all of that kind of thing. But these are girls who are being taken advantage of. I mean, they barely have reached puberty in some cases. And
10.
Yeah, and they're starting to have children?
Yeah.
I mean, this is outrageous.
But it's also a survival mechanism. And if you think about it, I don't know what you thought you were like or what you were like as 15. Like, you could do anything, right? You could conquer the world. You thought you knew it all. Now you get given all this adult responsibility. What are you going to do with it? You can potentially think, I'll make it on the streets.
Yeah.
I can be a mother.
Well, you're pretty fearless.
So the root cause that I'm actually wanting to get at is that all of this trauma, if it's not dealt with, if they don't have an outlet for it, because it is constant, they have no sense of power whatsoever as a child. If that is not dealt with, that will translate into self-harm or harm to others. So when I speak about the root cause, I'm speaking about we addressing what our children are going through, majority of the children, and this isn't something necessarily to do with money, right? Obviously, it's worse in high impoverished areas, but across the board, this can be neglect, it can be pressure, it can be lack of identity. If they don't have an outlet for that, that's going to translate into harm in some way.
All right, so you brought up root cause, but root, and this brings us to plants. How do plants factor into this?
So Plant Play is a program that we wrote. So the company that I started is called Human Nature Africa, and it really is about our human nature, who we really are meant to be, and the reciprocal healing ability between humans and nature. Do you have a plant, Ben?
I have plants on my roof.
You what?
I have plants on my roof.
Are they legal?
Yeah, they seem
He
fine.
doesn't smoke weed.
Okay, cool. So, but how do you feel when a new leaf grows?
Happy.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely happy.
Yeah. A sense of achievement, and you've got your beautiful puppy.
Okay, so I brought this up earlier, and I don't want to oversimplify what you're doing
Yes.
because I do think it has tremendous meaning and it creates a chain of causality that leads to responsibility, accountability,
Yeah.
love, nurturing, all of those
Yes.
things. I'm not going to expand on that yet.
Yeah.
But for many people, you know, the old adage is if you can't look after a plant, then don't have a pet.
Yes.
If you can't look after a pet,
Yes,
don't
yes,
have a child. And these are degrees of responsibility. But it does have to start somewhere. If people can grow a plant, nurture a plant, keep it alive, water it, pay attention to it every day, because that's what you have to do, that shows that that person is likely stable enough to start doing other things in their life. So it's not a stupid place to start.
But I would bring it to the kids. So
Yeah?
I would bring it to the kids. So there are great initiatives, existing using nature. However, we wanted to ensure that the child has ownership. So each child received their own plant, and it's a hyacinth. So first of all, it's a bulb, and if you cut it in half, then the flower's already inside there. So it's the metaphor of grow something that's already inside of you. And then also it's a non-food plant. So we didn't want anything to do that. No one is
It's not a
the
veggie
survival.
garden.
It's not
Right.
a veggie garden. And I do think veggie gardens are great, but I
No.
don't think it's appropriate responsibility for a child to look after food survival,
Yeah,
right? Food
right.
security for the family.
Yeah.
So when they have the hyacinth, it's literally the purpose is to be beautiful and to smell nice. So it's a sense of ownership. It's like the flower gave them the confidence to build identity. The most amazing thing is like there was a gender neutrality. And if you look at, and I was speaking to James earlier about, if I asked
James
you,
loves a bit of gender neutrality.
yeah, well, yes. I want to speak about my favorite lesbian later. But
Oh,
I'll
okay,
first get to
great.
the-
We're
yes,
very
exactly.
excited
Yeah.
to hear
Was she
about
in the
that.
top 10?
No, she wasn't. And she's
controversial.
local.
Okay. All right, but let's
getting
carry on
back-
this plant
yes.
thing for a second.
So, see, now I lost my train of thought.
No, you were talking about the hyacinth and
Thank
gender
you.
neutrality.
Yes, gender-
See, I
thank
do
you.
pay attention
Oh,
to you.
thanks,
Yeah.
Good listeners here. We
Guys.
don't,
Go
we
on.
don't look at we're good
Thank
listeners.
No.
you, because you were on your Instagram, but I'm
not.
kidding. I'm kidding. So,
He's just
Why is
looking up
every woman on
lesbians.
the couch here always mean to me?
Oh, shut up.
It's
Stop feeling
Leigh-Ann,
so
it's the
sorry for
guest.
yourself.
There was Ruda.
it's a backwards cap energy.
Ben, nobody's nice to me.
I get attacked on this couch. Easy for you behind your desk.
Please. Carry on, Zons.
Okay,
Sorry for this distraction,
Gender-
this immaturity that's going on next to you.
guys, it's fun.
From this
it's
fucking
fun.
lesbian. Go on.
So, gender neutrality is really important because there is a gender inequality in South Africa.
Sure.
So, if we speak about disempowerment and we look at gender-based violence, actually, if you just think about it as disempowerment,
Yeah.
think about a really bad boss. If you've ever had a really bad boss, that person is placed in a position of power undeservingly. They have financial ownership over you. They're able to make you do things that you don't want to do.
Right.
Now, that is a sense of disempowerment that I'm talking about. Now, couple that with some genders. Often females are seen as weaker, and then, or someone that identifies with a certain sexuality, and then couple that with a child. And a child gets told what to do. So
Yeah,
that's how
sure.
disproportionately impacted children are. Now, give them a plant, all the children were at the same base. The boys and girls were at the same.
They
The
don't
plants
really, they're not
grew
going to.
differently. So there was literally an inequality amongst all of them. Initially, when I asked them, why do you think we're giving you the plants? The boys were like, I don't know, because it's basically worthless. It's not going to grow fruit or a vegetable or anything. The girls said to me, it's to teach me how to be a mum.
Oh, wow. They
They're
got
10.
that straight away, huh?
They're 10.
Wow.
They're 10, right? And I did ask the children, who of you have grown plants before? And a lot of them raised their hands. And I said, okay, what plants? Tomato, corn.
Again, it's
Yeah.
got to be for food.
Exactly. Yeah.
What kind of results are you seeing from this? Because you wouldn't be doing this just because it's a good idea and you want to like make people feel better, but it's having an actual effect.
Yeah. So, look, from the beginning, guys, my
Sorry,
mic is like.
flaccid.
James, you've got a very
No, it's
neutral
fine.
mic.
Yeah,
here.
keep it like that.
It's
That's good.
fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. We've
good.
got composure again. So from the beginning, we wanted to prove the concept, right? Whether it works. Stop it.
Thinking about your flaccid mic. Sorry. Look at what you've done. The microphone was working fine until
like
you sat there.
me, exactly.
All right, so
Sorry.
what are the results here? This is actually important.
Yes, it is important. So stop it, Ben. So the results, it was really amazing to see. It exceeded our expectations. We wanted to make sure that the data that we collected was academic grade and credible. So we got approval through the Board of Ethics of South Africa, which is important.
Sure.
So we saw that, first of all, there was vocabulary, a self-expression from the kids. Naturally, we didn't say to them, this is about mental health at all. We said to them, here's a plant for you, grow it. So immediately children started self-expressing, using their own vocabulary. I spoke to you about the gender neutrality, which was really great. And then the most amazing thing was the emotional regulation. So I spoke about what we call adverse childhood experiences, and that's the traumatic experiences that a child has before 14. If that isn't dealt with, then as adults, self-harm or harm to others. Now, one expression of emotion is amazing at this age, because if I had to ask the both of you, are you abused?
Only on the show.
Are you suicidal? Or are you depressed?
Right.
It's labels we don't want. Why?
No.
Sure.
Why? Because it makes us
It makes
feel
you fucking miserable. That's
yeah,
why.
and it makes you
Miserable.
feel
Well,
makes you
just
feel weaker,
stop
right?
living, yeah.
Ah, who
and
wants those people in your life?
Gareth.
I'm not the one working for an NGO.
I'm not working for an NGO.
I know, and it's not a charity.
It's not a charity.
She hates it if I call it a charity.
I do. Guys, we are doing behavior change here.
Okay, but that's
We should actually pay
that's
more than
fucking
you.
great. I'm so
Yeah.
happy you're
It's
doing
not
this.
charity.
I agree. It should
Thank
be
you.
paid a lot of money, because it's these little steps in the formative time which they create something.
Yeah.
Like literally create something, because a lot of people, I mean, look at him. If he had better formative care, he would have grown.
Formative care.
Well, now he gets to speak his mind.
Look at him. Who's your favorite lesbian?
Wait, I just want to get land one more
Doesn't
point.
finish it, Gareth.
This is
Jeepers. See,
now, see, maybe forget my point,
but this
guys.
is the point I'm making.
Both of you, calm down. It's my
Okay,
show.
fine.
Who's your favorite
The
lesbian?
Gareth- My favorite show is Tasha Mentasti, and she's a surfer.
Favorite show or your
Sorry,
favorite
my
lesbian?
favorite lesbian.
Who's this? Look her up. I have never heard of this lesbian.
Tasha Mentasti. She was SA's #1 surfer, pro
Oh,
surfer.
wow.
All right, so
Multiple
localizing
times.
it, nice.
Yeah, she
see.
is now looking after Surf Africa, first woman in that position.
Very good.
I was very jealous of her when I was younger. I was dating a guy and he would like go and support the surfing shows, and I'm like, all these hot chicks walking around and
Yeah.
bikinis and stuff, and now she's one of
Surfer,
my
hot
besties.
surfer lesbians.
She's a lesbian.
And then you
I was
found out
like,
that they were actually lesbians.
exactly. Do you know how amazing that was? It's like, suck it, you know.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
That's a great addition to the lesbian panoply that we had earlier, Ben.
Yeah.
You know,
And
if you'd
she's
done a bit more
local.
research, you would have known about her.
Gareth, I was going for the most iconic lesbians of
Oh,
all
wow.
time. We can't just, we can acknowledge local talents. We're not putting them on the top 10, though.
But this is exactly the problem with gender inequality.
Oh, well done for bringing it back to that. What a great segue.
Yes.
Trying
But okay, but we do have this inequality, but we also have
Yes.
just abuse, right?
Yes.
And violence.
Yes.
So how do you think what you're doing is going to contribute? You said behavioral change.
Yes.
What kind of behavioral change do we need to make that better?
So the environment in which we curate for these children, it is a controlled environment. We have youth facilitators. We have set kind of processes and tools in place to do this. We would love to roll it out into all schools in the
What do you need to
life
do that?
orientation. Hey,
What do you need to do that?
I need I would love corporate South Africa to step up. Corporate social investment spend, I think, in 2024 was about 12.7 billion.
So, I mean, that's just phenomenal. Take a moment to think about that. 12.7 billion rand spent on corporate social responsibility in 1 year.
1 year.
How responsible do you think that spending is, or is a lot of that like guilt write-offs? I mean, how many people are actually strategically putting money into things that are impactful?
I think they're trying to. I think they're trying to. There's a lot of in education. There's a lot of. I mean, the education is also unemployment, inequality. All of that's also part of our NDP, right? National Development Plan. So they are trying to do it. I think what's missing is that behavioral shift. So they're getting the reach. They'll say, oh, we saw X amount of kids and we gave them books and pens. But it's a root cause of things. And the one thing I do want to say in addressing the root cause, if you think about, if you have children, what is their world going to look like in 5 or 10 years?
Well, I think this is where you are ahead of your time, because I would rather, as a parent, as a friend, as someone who's concerned for society, I would rather have children developing a relationship with a plant than with their phone.
Yeah.
Because the one, it may not talk back to you. It may seem to some people to be a bit silly to be talking to plants. I know perfectly sane people who have better conversations with plants than they do with people.
Lovely.
But the reality is that this thing can do a whole lot more damage and harm to a young mind than any plant ever could. And if they learn to nurture, they learn to care, they learn to take responsibility for another living thing.
Yes.
And also they learn by that the value of life.
Yes.
They learn respect.
Yes.
It could be, again, to use a plant analogy, it could be the seed
Yes.
of something that flourishes later on
Yes.
and becomes a general appreciation for other living things, which I think is in short supply in South Africa. You know, life is cheap, and a lot of people don't grow up understanding the value of life.
And it's a preventative measure. Again, we can increase, you know, our police force, which is great,
Sure.
but we need to get to the root cause, and we need to look at prevention in order to look at what our world is going to look like in 5 or 10 years' time. And the true thing is, children need an outlet, and they need to be able to self-regulate. We might not be able to fix, you know, all the violence and all the crime, but we are able to help them handle it.
I think this is awesome, Zanya.
Thank you.
Very proud of you and all the things you're doing. And I think that if people want to find out more, they need to be able to not just follow you on social media, but is there somewhere they can go, especially if there might be someone listening right now who is in corporate South Africa, wants to get behind this initiative financially?
Yeah,
Because, you know, a little bit goes a long way.
it does.
How much does it
does.
cost you to roll this out?
So we want to look at clusters of 300 children, because that makes it feasible for a sample size. Also, we'll always do data on it, because we'd want to do
You have to report.
adaptive learning. But we're looking at about 2.5 million rand. So it's about 6,000 rand per child for 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you think about that as a behavioral intervention to create positive habits.
What does that include for that child?
So that is the 8-week program. So it's facilitated weekly sessions. It's the plant. It's moving through it. We do focus groups with them as well. But they create communities amongst themselves. They learn empathy.
Are you targeting any specific demographics here? And by that I mean, are you going into priority poor areas, priority places where you know there's a lot of GBV?
Yes.
Okay, so you're getting your hands dirty.
Well,
You're not going to the suburbs and saying, "Yeah, everybody grow some nice plants."
no, we're not. But what we do, that was terrible. Sorry.
Yeah.
What we do is there's 30 GBV hotspots in South Africa. It's based on reported cases, which we know not everything gets reported, but we also know that GBV is a result of poor mental health. So we're trying to go to those 30 outlets, 30 districts, and we're trying to reach as many children as possible. And if you think about 12.7 billion.
Yeah, that's you just need a small slice of that to make a huge difference.
And that's it. And the thing is, it can address our unemployment. It can address our inequality, our abuse, our
Yeah,
crime.
but foundationally, I mean, that's all part of the selling point of what you're doing. But I think foundationally, it's about teaching kids that love can go both ways, and it can start with an inanimate plant, or animate plant because they're not dead, but a living thing. And you can learn the value of life. I think that's amazing. I don't think a lot of people grow up with that. And you can see it because of the way they treat other people, animals, and yes, the plants around them. I mean, you just see devastation, people littering everywhere. Rivers are pooed in all the time. This is one of Ben's big things is people pooing in rivers.
Just
Ben
no
hates
respect
it.
for rivers. Rivers are just, they're toilets mostly.
Yeah,
But why would they do that?
because they don't have self-respect.
Well, or they don't have access to proper sanitary.
No. People have always, long before toilets were invented, they didn't shit in rivers. Because if you
They
shit in the
didn't.
river,
They
no,
did.
because
they
if you,
didn't.
if you shat in the river, then you couldn't drink the river water.
Yes.
Everybody knows that.
Yes.
Everybody does. Somehow we've gone backwards on that front.
It's like I go to the Kruger Park so I can see rivers that haven't been shat in.
Yes.
I mean, that's like my biggest highlight
Yes.
in life. Not seeing trash
Yeah.
and shit-free rivers.
Right.
I mean, the hippos still shit in it, which is frowned upon, but like that's manageable.
That's amazing. I'm from Hoedspruit. We're like on the Olifants River and we have
Yeah.
lots of hippos.
And what a lovely river.
I haven't seen them poo.
Hippos shit. The hippos
I
are lazy.
haven't.
Yeah, they
Because
do.
They don't get out of the water to do anything.
I haven't.
I have a video from last
When
weekend.
they shit, their tails go like
They
this
do.
and chop it
Oh,
up.
then
no,
it's-
it's like, isn't it like
Yeah.
a spray?
Yes, it's
that's
like a
lovely.
It's
sprinkler.
like crop dusting on another
great.
level.
Guys, how did we get here?
I don't know, but
Too many people. That's
but
how
I
we got
do want
here.
us to. I do want us to get to Matt C. Smith. Have you got him on there? Oh, there's
the
that.
lesbian surfer.
There's your favorite, Tasha. Okay,
That's
very
Tasha Mintash. You can see why I was jealous of her.
good. She's cool.
She is beautiful. She does a lot of work, and they also do a lot of work using surfing as mental health
Okay,
support and
Oh, be out
sports
in
is
the
mental
ocean.
health. She is phenomenal. Reach out to her for anything, and she's really doing a lot for surfing, especially female surfing in this country.
Yeah, you've always been a big proponent for that too.
Yeah,
Oh, it's one of the reasons you lived in the Cape for such a long time.
there you go.
Okay, let's get to Matt C. Smith. You know this name because he's a Joburg-born cross-country skier who started the sport a few years ago after he moved to Norway. But we saw you at the Winter Olympics, Matt. So nice of you to join us this morning. How are you, dude?
I'm amazing. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Nice to speak to some South Africans as well. I'm hearing about the hippos and the poos in the water. I mean, it's just the average conversation happening back there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We talk a lot of shit here. So first of all, congratulations on the Winter Olympics in Cortina. You were in the 10-kilometer freestyle event. You finished 108th and proudly carried the South African flag at the opening ceremony. Well done, because most South Africans didn't even know we had any representation at the Winter Olympics, so that's terrific. But cross-country skiing is really difficult. I mean, of all the things, how did a guy from Joburg end up doing cross-country skiing?
I'm still trying to figure that out myself, actually. Maybe we can do that on the show this morning. But where did my life go wrong? All right, you could argue. You know, fast track, the backstory, really. I mean, I was born in Joburg, as you said, and I grew up a lot in the UK. But several years ago, I moved from Cape Town to Norway, right? Which is, of course, the home of winter sports. We know that when we look at the medal tables, right? And, I'd left Cape Town in summer and gone to Norway in winter. And obviously what happens in winter in Norway, well, it is, as I'm looking out my window right now, it's beautiful snow, but it's freezing. Not something that I, growing up in Cape Town and in Johannesburg specifically, I'm used to. So I had two options. Do I hibernate, which is a perfectly valid thing to do, which is half the nation, sit by the fireplace, drink some red wine, make a little braai or whatever, or lean in? And that's what I decided to do, lean into winter. And I decided to learn how to cross-country ski. This is only just about 3 years ago now. And I met a Mexican cross-country skier who inspired me, because I'm a big believer in you can't be what you can't see. And there I am seeing a Mexican representing his country and racing in the International Ski Federation, and thought to myself, well, why can't I for South Africa? That's really where the journey began.
Wow. And I mean, that's not that long ago, but it's a hell of a thing to end up talking about the Olympics, thinking about the Olympics, talking about the Olympics, and going to the Olympics. So that's a leap.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, it was big thinking from day one, actually. I mean, I had sorry, my dog's come to say good morning as well. This is Thor.
Oh, hello. Hello, Thor.
He helped in the
Thor?
process, for sure. Of course.
You mean Thor?
Thor.
Yeah.
Thor. Here we go.
There we go.
Exactly. No, and it was big thinking from day one. It was my 32nd birthday actually at the time. So I was by no means young in the sport. I mean, most people retire at this age in the sport, and I just began this journey, and I thought to myself, is it possible to try and qualify for this sport in not 3 years but 2, because you qualify a year before. And no one was representing us. I found out the hoops to jump through to make it happen. And I began on the journey, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go throw everything at it for the next 2 years to attempt to qualify. I did. A year later, I was there just 2 weeks ago.
Amazing. So what's it like to be at the Olympics?
I'll tell you the most unexpected experience of the Olympics, and it's kind of a nice one, actually, which is, Gareth, I'm sure you've been to some, I don't know, like, the gun run or any sort of organized sporting event, right? Be it an Ironman, be it a city marathon, half marathon, whatever it is, right? Whatever is your poison athletically. It's an organized event, meaning there are volunteers, there are, paid organizers, right? And they do a great job, right? But I've never been to an organized sporting event where every single person felt like an Olympian. I was expecting to go to the Olympics and meet Olympians making Olympic efforts, elite athletes, etc. But I was not expecting to meet the Olympic efforts the volunteers were making to make the whole thing run smoothly. And if you think about it, it's one of the, if not the only sporting event where everyone will, for the rest of their life, whatever their role was, cleaning the toilets, making the food, directing traffic, will be like, I was part of Milano Cortina. I was part of that Olympics. Yeah. So there was just this ownership that everyone had, which made it so special because everyone had a smile on their face. Everyone was proud, regardless of whatever their role was. They were there going, I'm going to tell the story to my grandchildren one day of how I was part of the Olympics and I maybe saw this gold medalist before he or she actually did it, So that was a really surprising thing that I will never forget, actually.
And as far as being in the village, Matt, I mean, was it very... Because the thing about Olympics nowadays is that they're quite spread around for logistic reasons and obvious reasons. Was it like really unified, or was it like certain sports and certain athletes were sort of grouped and then you sort of saw them coming and going?
Yeah, I mean, there was Milan and Cortina for a start,
spread.
Yeah, seven locations, right? Seven locations, 5 villages, 4 opening ceremonies. So it was very unlike, and a lot of my peers there had both, some of the support staff were both on the summer and winter teams. So they'd been to, just came straight back from Paris and other ones like that. So I heard all perspectives, and it was, maybe sad not to be with everyone. But, when it is a winter sport, it's becoming more and more difficult to find a place that can host all sports that don't just need altitude and elevation, but also need, there's ice rinks and all that kind of stuff, right? That can be more kind of in a city and lack of low elevation spaces. So there was a unity in the fact that we were all there. And this is the cool thing. Everyone's wearing their country clothing. You're walking around. I was walking around a Team South Africa the whole time. So, I'd rock up at breakfast and it's so cool. I'm wearing the hat right now, I love this hat forever. This thing will be tattered. I'll be wearing this when I'm 70, trying to show it off to people. Like, ask me about this. But there was unity in the fact that we are all representing our nations. There was like a proudness. So people wanted to.
Well,
to be asked about. Yeah,
that's the whole point of the Olympics. I mean, that's the reason it was instituted. But I do find your whole story is curious. I mean, I love it because you're now living in Norway. What do you actually do for a living?
So my background is tech and entrepreneurship. I built a media company here many years ago. I sold that. So, I was a venture capitalist before that. Very different career at the time. And today, I do a lot of public speaking. I have a book. I do workshops, things like that for corporates on innovation-related topics. So, it's been the perfect marrying, which has allowed me to be a professional athlete and then go away and, speak at a conference for a day or two, and then come back
and now an Olympian. I mean, this is quite cool.
And now Olympian.
Yeah. All right. So let me just ask you about this because I love skiing. I'm not nearly as good as the kind of people you were around and you yourself are in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But it is just the most spectacular, and if you're from South Africa, quite alien thing. And it's really fast, and it's really exciting, and it's exhilarating, and you've got that fresh air, and it's sometimes the sun, sometimes clouds, but you're walking and trekking and then skiing at tremendous speed down some of these amazing slopes. Cross-country skiing is a major workout, though, because you're also going up, and you're not taking the ski lifts to get to where you need to go. You have to do all of that yourself, and there's nothing worse than trudging through snow.
You are the ski lift, actually. That's the reality of it. And I jokingly say, we ski up hills as well as down them, right? Cross-country skiing is one of the most, if not the most, cardiovascularly demanding sports in the world.
Sure.
I think 8 of the 20 highest VO2 maxes, which is a correlation to how fit you are effectively and how efficient your body is at using oxygen, were cross-country skiers, right? And so the highest VO2 maxes of these guys and girls, such as cycling as well, these sports translate quite rightly. The one thing I love, and I will say about cross-country skiing, is you can do it from 1 to 101. That's why the Norwegians are so fit in their older years, because you can pick a flat terrain. You can pick something that's not too strenuous, and if you fall, you're falling on snow. It's not too painful. You're not going to hurt yourself. It's not too impactful on the joints in the body. But obviously, if you want to be, an elite athlete, then you can go and pick a stadium and do the most wild intervals with 400 meters of elevation over a 5 kilometers route. So it's a very versatile sport. And lastly, you do it in nature, in winter. It gets you out. You're looking up at the mountains, not just flying down them like Alpine. No disrespect to Alpine, but I urge everyone to give it a try. Come hit me up. I've got the blueprint. We need a bigger team for 2030.
So, I mean, like within Norway, I mean, it may be a stupid question, but I mean, the guys, the Olympians, the gold medalists, the women, are they the biggest celebrities? I know Norway plays football, but they go to the Winter Olympics and they win the Winter Olympics. Like they're the most successful nation of Winter Olympics. Are all of those people like household names? Are there statues? Are they on soap operas? Are they in high profile relationships? What's the sort of like fandom around these people?
I'll tell you something funny about Norway and Norwegians, right? It's the greatest country in the world to be famous because people don't bother people, right? It's honestly, there's a sort of, the Norwegians only 100 years ago lived in fjords without money. Like they were a poor country. They discovered oil in 1956. Now they're the second wealthiest country in the world, right? So the culture hasn't caught up with how things were. So people here are actually very respectful. Really, it's the craziest thing. So you can be in a restaurant and there's like a billionaire there and there's the famous, Haaland, the football player, for example. People might turn their eye a tiny bit, but they won't go up and take a photo because, he's eating or she's eating with her family. Yes, they are household names. It's honestly, come to Norway if you're famous because, no one will bother you really. You might get a flicker of an eyelid, but no, so they are household names. Yes, they are in reality TV shows and things like that. But again, those things aren't massive here anyway. So it's quite a good place to be famous in sports specifically.
I've got a question.
Yeah, go for
it. Sorry. How do you ski uphill? I'm sorry if this is
no. It's a very good question. People,
but that's like so cross country skiing. So I mean, like if you watch these, there was a clip that went out of this one Norwegian oak, and he on skis.
He's the goat. Yeah.
I watched that clip about 10 times and felt more insignificant the more I watched the clip. Watching this guy is like watching a horse in stride. Like every single sinew of his body is somehow working, and it's just pumping arms, pumping legs.
But going up, like is it like you said, it's a very high like cardio.
So Matt, maybe if you can run us through your actual foot structure within a ski and how much movement.
Yeah, because I'm just imagining these.
Because I mean, everyone thinks that your foot's stuck in a ski and you go down.
Yeah. Yes.
With you, there's obviously a different sort of mechanism.
Sorry for the 101.
No, this is good. A lot of people will be asking.
This is awesome. Let me explain it to you. So first and foremost, cross-country skiing isn't one sport. It's 2. And then you throw in summer and it's 4. But I'll leave the summer ones out for now. So in winter, of course, there's classic style, which is the thing that everyone thinks they know, which is the kind of typical langlauf and the kind of traditional one like this, right? Which is effectively running on skis, which you're referencing right now with this guy called Johannes Kleber, who won 6 gold medals, all gold medal events. And that is effectively running on skis, right? So when you're going
Uphill.
downhill, you're you're locked in. Yep, and uphill.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Now, not to bore you with the details of it, but you have a ski that's say just under 2 meters long. The middle part under your foot is basically, it sits like this. It doesn't sit flat. It sits a little bit like that. So when you kick down, it springs like this, meaning you have grip here, which catches the snow. So when you kick, you can run up. So you actually have effectively grip in the middle of the ski under the foot. When you kick down, it catches and you can basically pull yourself up like this. So you're running like tread on a shoe or a tire of a car, right? So that's the classic style. And then obviously you have your arms as well. So it's a full body sport. It's mostly, obviously kind of lower body, right? Driving with the legs and kicking. But at the same time, you're also in coordination. So the sport is actually more like a dance. So in Norwegian, the terms for the sport are dubbel dance, enkel dance, like double dance, single dance, are the styles, right? So it's actually a dance, which is quite beautiful. There's a full body coordination. So going uphill, you're either running uphill. And now there's a second style, which is the race I did, which is called the skate style, which is effectively ice skating with 180 skis and poles. So you're coordinating your body. It's this whole balance thing. You're always gliding on one leg at one point, kicking off the other leg, gliding for a few meters, and then kicking off and gliding.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
So, it is a dance. It is a coordination. And the thing I love about it is you're thinking while doing, while gliding, while, it's just this whole beautiful thing. And can imagine starting that at 32 years old, having never tried it. It's just like,
I think that's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, I mean, it's just tremendous. And I'm really, really excited that we got to speak to you today because we didn't have any real representation at the Winter Olympics for a very long time. And it's nice to see South Africans like you, and there are very few people like you who will take on a brand new sport in your 30s and get good enough to go to the Olympics with it. It's phenomenal. I really love that you're doing this. I think it's so great.
Thank you.
So what's your mental conditioning around this? And it sounds like you're the kind of guy who in your life does exciting and new and adventurous things. What kind of a mindset and attitude do you think you have to be able to put yourself in a position to end up going to the Winter Olympics, among other things?
I wish I had a cheat code for you or a beautiful answer. I've had some amazing lessons, but the truth of it is this. I had a great support network around me, because the one thing I've learned about doing these sort of awesome things is that motivation isn't constant. Development and growth is not constant. You plateau for weeks and months at a time where your growth is actually, if anything, going down, right? And you think to yourself, hold on a minute, I'm 32, 34. There's so many better things I could be doing with my time and energy right now, and money, because I self-funded it, right? What am I distracting myself with? Is this the ultimate procrastination? I thought to myself sometimes, am I just distracting myself from what I really should be doing right now? And this is where your support network comes in, your tribe, your community, because I'll give you the example that the guy that inspired me to do this, you can't be what you can't see. I see this Mexican guy, Alan Daniel Corona, who qualified with me, and we finished next to each other as well. Now he's one of my best friends. I was in a low moment, say a year and a half ago. The growth had flatlined. I was getting other opportunities in other areas, which could have easily been like jump ship, focus on something that's actually going to make you money, not cost you money, and actually be contributing to your life. And he said to me, and I said to him this, I said, listen, Alan, you go for 2026. I'm going to go for 2030, plan B. I'm going to go for, you go for this one. I'm going to, this is not working for me. And he said this to me. He said, Matt, now is the only time. You don't know what your life is like tomorrow, next week, next year, your finances, your family situation, your health. Now is the only time. And so there were many moments where I haven't got some unbelievable willpower. I'm sure I pushed myself a little bit more than I have in the past, but it was the people around me, your support network. And I gained that also through social media, because I kind of blew up on social media. I became one of the most followed skiers. And that was social accountability, because the more people I told, the more people asked me on a regular basis how it was going, which meant that I had this social accountability when I was in a low moment and someone said, how's it going? I'm like, all right, I've told too many people, I have to do it, So I really actually created an environment where I had to do it, right? And I think it's a fallacy to think that, anyone is that driven, that determined. Every single day they're waking up at 5 a.m., they're out, they're fueling right, nutrition right, head's always right. No, it was over the the red thread over the 3 years, 51% of the time I was on it, 49% of the time I wasn't, and that's where those support networks came in to support me along the journey.
Mate, I've been working in sport for a very long time. I'm a grizzled old git at the moment, quite cynical about things. But your story, it's one of the best sporting stories, I think. I think a lot of people get into sports and they almost feel like, I deserve sponsorship. I deserve to this. People must do this for me. You were like, screw it. I'm leveraging content. I'm leveraging my own resources. I'm bootstrapping this thing. I'm working at it. I'm seeing it as a project about my life and what I can do and what makes it better. And I think a lot of sports people get into sport for the wrong reasons. It's like, I'm great at sport, I'm going to be a world champ. It's like, yeah, but you've still got to be in society. And I get way too philosophical about this, which I'll try not be right now because it's a Friday. But I think so many young sports people need to have a more holistic idea of what life is before they can become good professional sports people. And I think if they just take a cursory look at your journey and what you've done and what you've created, and you got to the Olympics, like you say, that hat's on your head right now. That's yours forever. Your story, all these kind of things. It's a genuine story. It's a small story in the greater scheme of things on time, and obviously Winter Olympics is very niche. But I think your story is such inspiration to anybody who wants to do sport and excel and sacrifice and move. And I would love to unpack this more in years going ahead, because we're talking about childhood development with you, Sonia. It was just, people need to understand fundamentals. I think you've nailed it. Your story is so great, and I just absolutely had to share that with you because I've loved it. It's just a cool snapshot of what sports should be and what people should focus on.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what they should focus on, because let's be real, okay? I was never going to win a gold medal. I was never medal contending. I was always fighting for the bottom 4 places with my Mexican friend, Saudi Arabian friend, and Lebanese friend, right? So I didn't.
All these people from hot countries. What the hell's wrong with you?
I know. Well, we're in the bottom, exactly. Yeah. But what I realized was, exactly. But what I realized was, you don't just win a gold medal on the course. You can also win a gold medal off the course, as a role model, as an educator, as a entertainer, because sports is entertainment. So I realized that, listen, I'm never going to win a gold medal on the course, but I can win a gold medal off the course. So I'm going to focus on the areas that I can control and the areas that I can have the greatest impact. I'm still doing all the work. I'm still doing all the training. I'm still going to arrive on the day of my race, happy, healthy, in the best shape of my life, ready to race the best race of my life. But the reality is, I focused on the other areas, which then made me more of a holistic athlete. And I contributed and was accepted into the community because I contributed to it by creating community initiatives. I have a ski club every Sunday, all these different initiatives. I go to schools to educate. And who knew the world needed a South African cross-country skier to make how-to videos on skiing?
I know, I love it.
But this is exactly my point. You've added so much value because you've understood where you're going. You understood where you are.
Yeah, but it's also, the normalization of how tough it really is. Just when you were speaking about you were self-funded and, you were going through these ups and downs and almost like an imposter syndrome, it's tough. Like, it is tough, and I think we don't speak about it enough. Especially I think that there is something quite intimidating if you open up your social media channels and all of that stuff to perform. But often when we fall down, like, to kind of say, I am feeling shit today. Like, I'm not feeling great. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do something. And like what you said, that support structure is so important, and surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah, I like the word that Sonia came up with just now, which is resilience. And do you think that South Africans, because again, we can't generalize too much here, but one of the things that I think we have, because it's a practical problem we all have to deal with in this country, no matter where you're from in South Africa or what kind of support systems you may have, we're a pretty resilient and risk-taking country, right? I mean, people have to. We live in that band of things are risky. You got to take your chances, whether it's being on the roads, whether it's going somewhere at night, whether it's thinking about a business that you want to put together. I think we have that. It's a little bit of a superpower if you use it and if you can deploy it properly, don't you think, Matt?
I couldn't agree more. And something I've loved to talk about, actually, which I don't think is spoken about enough, is South Africa's brand value as a sporting nation. Show me another nation that was actually united, in 95 through sport. That vehicle exists today as the Springboks, and we have Bok Friday every single Friday nationwide. Show me another nation that I do, or the All Blacks having All Black Friday. I don't know. No offense to them, they're a great team as well. We will beat them again though. But the truth is, I've loved to bring the South African perspective into winter sports, because we are we're a sport, we're a sporting culture that, yes, places resilience, hard work front and center, but also humor, the human side, because you can't be a great athlete without being a good human first. And I think all the Springboks really emulate that in the way that they do that through Sia's, former leadership and the team that is there today. And I think that not enough nations around the world understand the brand value of South African sport, because if they're not in cricket or who knows, football coming as well with the World Cup this year, but specifically also with rugby, I've tried to bring in those values through winter sports and make us a respected nation contributing to the pots in different ways than just results. Now, I also want the results to come. They will come soon. Because I'm hoping recruiting a team for 2030. So if you are a young South African or old South African,
love it.
It's never too late. Hit me up. Anyway, please.
No, I think that's terrific, and I'm glad that you actually put that challenge out there, because who knows, we may have tremendously talented and very hardworking, dedicated sports people who want to try their hand, or their legs in this case, at a winter sport. The only problem is, we don't have a whole lot of snow, Matt. You may have noticed. There's a little bit in Lesotho and in the Drakensberg. It's nowhere near enough to be able to do the kind of thing that you're doing. So then you have to have the resources to get to places like Norway.
Or not. So, fun fact, I mentioned earlier that this is 4 sports, not 2. Well, not 1. Mm-hmm. So, in summer, we do something called roller skiing. Now, roller skiing, actually, cross-country skiers are made in summer, because there are more summer months in most nations than there are winter months, and especially with the climate that we can not get into now, but there is less and less winter months in the Nordics and the Northern Hemisphere as well. So cross-country skiers spend about 7-8 months, really honestly, or 7 months at least in summer conditions on something called roller skis. Now, I took roller skis with me to Cape Town back in December, and I was roller skiing around Signal Hill and Waterfront and all those places to gain a bit of awareness. But so actually, there is a gateway for South Africans or just Southern Hemispherean or non-snow nations to get into cross-country skiing through roller skiing. So roller skiing is now being seen as potentially the future for cross-country skiing. So my plan is to bring a bunch back next time I'm back there, leave them there, start a little development program, and before we know it, we'll have some medal contending athletes, hopefully, because we have great cardiovascular athletes in our nation.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's very, very cool. It's so great to talk to you. I'm thrilled that we got to speak to you just a couple of days after your Olympic participation, which is amazing. And I just love this. It's very nice to have you on.
Thank you so much. And I'll say one last thing, which is you are more than your results. To the point earlier made with younger athletes, you are more than your results. You can contribute more than results. I think I've proven that front and center. But hopefully soon we'll have some South Africans who will also be adding results on the course as well as off.
Amazing,
Matt.
All right, Matt, thank you. And well done. Bloody terrific.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, very good. And you. Thank you so much. There's Matt C. Smith, South African Winter Olympian.
It's my favorite sporting interview when I actually need to say nothing. That guy's got so much going on. He's such a good addition to sport and
a good communicator.
Yeah, he gets it.
Obviously,
but he gets it, and he gets that you can do so much through sport. I know there's like the cliches and the 95 throwback everyone has, but cheap as you can change lives through sport. And
that's such an important thing, and I actually it would be really cool to speak to him about doing a really good development program. Like if you look at an outlet for children, especially when you said like the summer edition of it, to look at how it and really measure it. And I'm so pedantic about this, but we have to measure the results of things and the mental health impact, the future behavior change.
It's good all the way down.
But it's like you said with surfing, all of these things. When you really care about something.
Sorry, Ben, lesbian surfing.
Sorry, lesbian surfing.
Hot lesbian surfing.
Yeah. Hot, there are a lot of things that have come up on the show this morning. People shitting in rivers, hippos.
Leigh-Ann
Olympians.
Smearing her shit on the walls.
Leigh-Ann behaving like an ape. Everybody.
My mic drop.
We've got a ton of stuff that we didn't even get to. But look at this. So much to talk about. All right, so plant play.
Yes.
Where can people find out more?
You can go to our website. So it's humannature.africa.com. And you'll scroll down and you'll see our amazing all-female team. And then just below that.
You don't like men?
No, I love men.
So why won't you have them on your team?
It was not by design, it was by magic. It was by pure magic.
All right.
I'm just saying it's nice to look at.
All right.
And then just below that, there's a button for LinkedIn, so you can reach out to me directly and we can chat. And I like the biggest thing is I just wanted to have a casual, cool, normal conversation about stuff that bothers us and like see what we can do about it.
I think it's a good place to start.
That's the key part, is see what we can do about it. Some people just moan and then they just stop.
Yeah.
And the thing is also, I think people have been spoken at so many times, like gender-based violence and mental health, but they don't know. It's quite simple. Everything's got a solution. That is the truth. Everything's got a solution. And we just need to talk about it and then find the solution.
Yeah, because everything's got a root.
That's it.
Even
a
plant.
Yeah,
Okay, I like this.
Plant play.
All right, very good. Thank you, Zanzans.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Love you guys.
And yeah, terrific stuff there. Ben, your top 10 lesbian list is absolutely A grade. I do feel like Melissa Etheridge's inclusion makes it even better.
Yeah, sure. She's coming at number 10. That's fine.
And we've got to decide on our next theme for either next week or the week after. We can decide
I think
a
like
date.
last Friday every month.
That's probably a good time. People are in a good mood. What should the next theme be? Any ideas? Favorite criminals?
We are not glorifying criminals.
No, exactly. Very bad
sorry,
idea.
James. Sorry.
Jesus,
We have
James
a great day and then James has to go and do something. Hey?
I feel, given the conversation just now, and
Yeah.
sorry, I'm just like inserting myself in this conversation.
Go on.
But
Go for it.
dress up as the most unpopular sport in South Africa. Like, I didn't know about uphill skiing, which to me sounds petrifying because I can't.
Yeah, Son,
cardio.
you've said a lot of good things in the show. That was not one of them.
Yeah, that's a crap idea.
It.
All right, well, maybe there's some suggestions in the comments
Fine.
section. Let's see what
Damn it.
everybody there has to say. Maybe they've got some
I
better
mean,
ideas.
it's
than this.
niche. We like a good niche joke right here, but that's just...
Tenderpreneur. How about that?
minority, yeah.
Bitcoin Bot says tenderpreneur theme next week. Well, next month. Tenderpreneur.
Tough day in the comments, huh?
You'd
Hold
have
on.
to. So I went and grabbed a coffee at the garage this morning before the show. At 5:30, there's a drunk man who was obviously a tenderpreneur. You know, lots of brand labels on the shirt. It was a shirt that had only been worn once. You could see it. He'd bought it and put it on. He was wearing branded shoes in sort of black and gold.
Yeah.
That's tenderpreneur. I mean, we could probably do that. It would be an expensive endeavor to dress up as a tenderpreneur.
Well, what are you trying to achieve with
It's
this
just
dress up?
stupidity.
It's fun.
It's just stupidity and
Add a bit of extra texture to a show. I think that's where we're going for this.
I don't see any other good suggestions. So obviously the comment section have fallen asleep and are not paying attention, which means we must end the show. So we're going to can it right there. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next Friday at 6 a.m. bright and early. Make sure you don't miss it. And thank you to everybody who was on the show this morning. Zanya Penzorn, to Ben Karpinski, to Matsy Smith, to Leigh-Ann Mole, and everybody else, Dr. Hanan, and most especially you. We'll catch you next week. Bye.